Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. It's the rearranged Brentford versus Manchester United goal fest. It is rearranged. I don't know whether there's going to be a goal fest, but I feel that there is the potential to be a goal fest. I'm going to stick to my 3-2 prediction, and we have got some early team news, official team news coming out in about 10 minutes time with a kickoff at 8 o'clock. But we have heard that Harry Maguire, well, earlier on, and this is where you've got to be very careful with leaked team news. There was a leaked team news earlier that had Harry Maguire in it. Sky Sports are saying that Harry Maguire's on the bench. Get in! Nothing against Harry. He should just, I don't believe he should start the game when it wasn't the defence's fault that we didn't win on Saturday and we didn't lose. So why would we can't be favourites FC. People need to earn their position back. So I'm very happy about that. Apparently, Delo is playing at right back because Wan-Bissaka is ill. Luke Shaw's got a knock, so Tellez will continue at left back. Alanga is going to start. So you can start to build a team as we've done here. And I think that probably is the team. I think McTominay and Ronaldo will come in. And Greenwood will probably hold his place quite simply because Sancho wasn't very good when he came on. So, look, I agree with Giorgio B. I was thinking just there as I had a wee before the start. We all do it. And I was thinking, really, why could Donny van der Beek not start this game? And then I realised he's never going to start a game because we've totally misused him. So, yeah, Lingard, we've rejected a loan move for Jesse Lingard to Newcastle because we want to keep him as part of the squad. Why? He's never been a consistent performer or starter for United in 2 years. Let him go. You know what they want to happen? They want Lingard to come off the bench, score a good goal so they can justify giving him a 4-year contract. That's what it's all about. But yeah, Alanga would start ahead of Rashford. The fridge has been put on defrost mode, says Jay Daly. I detect that Jay is not a big fan of Harry Maguire. Yeah, look, Rashford shouldn't start this game. Ultimately, I'm hoping this team is going to be pretty much the team that played against Villa. Considering that first half an hour was our best away performance this season, I think it'd be wrong to make massive changes. Like, you've got to build on momentum and you've got to learn from mistakes. And look, we were 2-0 up. We should have won that game. Rangnick made mistakes and the midfield made mistakes. I think they should be given an opportunity to rectify that mistake. And certainly, I think tonight is a big challenge away from home. What better way to rectify your mistakes than away from home in a big challenge? So I'm hoping that will be pretty much... look, I don't want McTominay to start. I'd rather Matic started because he's actually a holding midfielder. But I think we know that Matic can't play 2 games in a few days. And this is why Manchester United are struggling this season, because we don't have a holding midfielder. Ronaldo definitely should be coming back into the team. I don't think we can get any arguments from that. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff. It's a massive game for Manchester United. I don't really want to look at the league table, but it's there next to me. If we win this, we go level with Arsenal, but we will have played a game more. We need to win this game. I think drawing this game would put us level with Spurs with them having 3 games in hand. We would be in a perilous position. And if Wolves won their game in hand on us, they'd go above us. So that league table does not look very good anyway. And the only way it can look better is if we win this game today, which we must do. So Manchester United need to win is the points in the bag, says Zimmy. I think we will win. Yeah, I think there's a lot of doom and gloom around Manchester United, but I was encouraged enough by that first half an hour against Villa. And I think if you add Ronaldo into that team, Bruno looked rejuvenated in a different system. Alanga looks... look, the only problem is Alanga, and even Alanga... Look, we all love Alanga. And I love Greenwood as well, but still the same problems. Wide forwards not looking to play the simple pass or cross. That still needs to change. But... Tellez and Delo give me hope. They can get forward. And look, the midfield battle will be where it's won. But I'd be very excited. I wouldn't mind Sancho starting off the right. I don't mind that. But I think it will be Greenwood. And I don't massively have a problem with that. Is that the real team, says Nirvana? We pretty much can... Look, never say never, but we can pretty much guarantee a few things about this team. Ronaldo's going to start up front. Cavani will drop to the bench. Tellez will play at left back because Luke Shaw's got a knock. Delo will play at right back. Alanga's starting apparently, and Maguire's on the bench, which means Lindelof would start because that's what Sky Sports are saying. So I think it will be I think that's look, if you're saying to me, I would have expected Maguire, Rashford, McTominay to come back into this team. If you're saying to me it's just McTominay, I'll take that. I feared it would be all three. If it's just one of them, look, happy days. Me and my girlfriend Emma love watching the show. Keep up the good work, says Michael Iroden. I'm glad it ended there. For a minute, Michael, I thought it might be a little bit more than me and my girlfriend love watching the show whilst. There was no whilst. It was just we love watching the show. So big up to Emma and Michael. Just wanted to say your analysis skills seem to be getting even better with time, and keep up the good work, says Ash. Or should I call you Dad? Thoughts on Shaw as CDM? So, no, he's too left-footed, mate. Too left-footed. I don't think. I think Lindelof as a CDM is probably about as far as I would go, because a centre back is more balanced on the centre of the pitch. So, not for me. Not for me. What if Pogba turns it around? We could get top four, start getting results. Do you think Ronaldo's presence and a change of mentality would possibly stay, says Stuart Walker? I think in relation to Paul Pogba, what you've got to look at is this situation. Even if Paul Pogba decided to stay at Manchester United, why? Why would he do that? I think the problem, I don't want to talk about Paul Pogba massively tonight because he's not actually playing. But if you think about it, Paul Pogba, Manchester United have saying, here's a contract, will you sign it? And he's going to say, who's the manager next year? Well, we won't know till May. Okay, you might be in the Europa League next year. Well, you won't know till May. I'll wait till May. Gets to May, PSG, £500,000 a week. That's the problem United have got. To keep Pogba, you've got to get him to sign the contract before May. But the reality is, even that's too late. PSG can offer in the contract now. PSG can say now, because they can do that. Because if you're a free agent, you can speak to any club outside of the league that you're playing in. So I think we'll be played with. I certainly think we'll be played with. I think there will be a scenario whereby, Paul Pogba's thinking of staying, and I think Paul Pogba could play well for us between now and the end of the season. But I logically don't see him staying. And also what I would say is that what people forget is that he's been here for 6 years. And in those 6 years, he's been unhappy, happy, crap, brilliant, unhappy again. We know what this last 6 years of Pogba have been. Are you not foolish to want a few more years of it? And I just think, I like Pogba, I really, really do. But it's time to... It's like the great Andrea Balotelli once sang, or whatever his name was, Bonicelli. Time to say goodbye. And it is. It's time to say goodbye. It's time to part ways. He's 29 as well. We've got a lot of older players. I just think let him go. But use him. Use him. Don't abuse him. Use him this last few months of the season, because you know what? A team with Paul Pogba in it, or an option in it, is better than a team without Paul Pogba or as an option in it. So, that's what I think. But I think he's going to go. Which would you rather have, a specialist CDM or Ronaldo, says Captain Hunch? Well, I don't like that sort of question, mate. But I will answer it. I'd rather have a CDM than Ronaldo, because there's no point in having Ronaldo if you haven't got a CDM. So, but I would not like to give Ronaldo up. Evening, mate. Evening, mate. Really looking forward to the game tonight. I think it's going to be a good 1-3-1. Okay. Malps, I heard Donny is sat on his seat keeping it warm even before the game kicks off, Mark, says Malps. He normally puts the cones out, to be fair. Bruno and Van der Beek as a cam, I think. Look, I'm not getting anything through other than what we've known already, that is Alanga's going to start and Maguire's on the bench, with McTominay back into the midfield. In fact, we've got the team here. This is going to be the official team. So it's De Gea, Dalot, Lindelof, Varane, Telles, McTominay, Fred, Bruno, Greenwood, Ronaldo, Alanga. So we had it right 10 minutes ago. So team news is out, and so is Donny. Oh, no, I'm laughing. Yeah. So we've had the right team for a long time here on the United Stand again. So get on to United Stand, subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Another correct team at least 10 minutes before the start of the game. So that is your team for tonight. Happy Alanga's playing. Happy that Lindelof's playing. Happy that Ronaldo's back in. I think everything is pretty much right about that team. The only one for me is Scott McTominay. But again, we've got another manager that absolutely worships him. He obviously does something brilliant in training, and I wish we could see it on the football pitch because I really don't get it. I would have played Donny. My concern with this system is who's the holding midfielder, because I don't care. Fred's not a holding midfielder. McTominay's not a holding midfielder. He said yesterday we're going to play with a holding midfielder and 2 number 8s. Who's the holding midfielder? Because if it's Fred, I think you lose his tenacity and his first touch is shit. If it's McTominay, well, we all know McTominay's strength is on the edge of the box. So we're basically using somebody out of position. But Greenwood off the right is possibly a little bit lucky, although you do feel with Greenwood that at some point he's going to really hit the ground because, even against Villa, he had a couple of chances that, if he scores them, they're great finishes. I just hope that Greenwood tonight with Ronaldo back is a little less selfish. Same with Alanga. But I see goals in that team. It's just the midfield. It's not Scott's fault he always gets picked. No, Joseph, it's not. I hope he has a good game. I hope he scores a couple of goals, He scored a couple against Burnley. I hope he has a good game. I do worry that we'll be able to control the game in the first half an hour like we did last time without Matic. But look, I'm not surprised he's back in the team. I don't think anybody's surprised he's back in the team. The positive for me is that Harry Maguire's not back in the team and Marcus Rashford's not back in the team because that's not justifiable at all. I can see why McTominay's back in the team because we've actually got no holding midfielder. So, it's just the usual go back to the same old players that get picked. Interestingly, Matic is not fit enough to start, but he's fit enough to be on the bench. So it's 2 goalkeepers on the bench again, Heaton and Henderson, Jones, Maguire, Mata, Matic, Van der Beek, Martial and Rashford. No Jesse Lingard on the bench. So you can't go on loan, Jesse, but we're not going to put you on the bench. So it's just confusing. So we've got Anthony Martial on the bench today and no Cavani. We've got no Lingard. I don't understand what's going on at United a lot of the time. We know that Luke Shaw's had a knock. We know that Wan-Bissaka's had a knock. He's ill. Jones and Maguire, they were on the bench against Villa. Mata, well, it just shows you how we're scraping the barrel a little bit here. Matic, Van der Beek, Martial, Rashford. That first team's got to deliver, hasn't it, really? It really has. If it doesn't, I think we're in trouble with that bench. Also, just very quickly, no Jadon Sancho on the bench. I've just clocked that. So where's Sancho Lingard and Cavani then? That's this is what I mean. You just never get the full story of what's going on at United. Everyone's talking about Ronaldo and Rashford returning, which they do. And then you lose Sancho, Lingard, and Cavani, and there's no hint of it happening at all. I don't understand that, and it's a shame with Sancho because I think after such a bad cameo at the weekend, you'd sort of want to be in the team. And it must be injury. I've got the Brentford team on the line, not on the line, on the screen. So Lossie, Johnson, Pinnock, Sorensen, Rosalef, Canos, Jensen, Jonel, Norgard, Mbuma, Tony. Yeah, like me. I don't fucking know who half of them are. I'll admit the ignorance. I mean, I know Tony, I know Mbuma, Norgard. The rest of them, it's like looking at a championship side. And I'm not mocking them. They'll have a good system. They've got a good system under Thomas Frank, but I don't know half the team. I don't even know half that team. But I do know Tony. Do you think United fans overhype the academy players? Says Plop. I think Alanga played well at the weekend. If you were United coach, other than CDM, which players would you bring in if you could? Anyone from anywhere? Says Ash. And what's your thoughts on? I'd bring Kimmich in. What's your thoughts on Ralph's words about not wanting Maguire, Shaw, and Wan-Bissaka? Load of bollocks, Alex. And we have no backup fullbacks. This could get interesting if someone gets a knock. Says Joshua Bowwater. We've got Phil Jones. He can take corners. He can play up front. He can fly through the air with a funny face. We'll be fine. Phil Jones. The annoying thing for me is that no matter how poor those two in the midfield play, they still get picked. Fletcher and Carrick both love those two, says Nate. Look, I'd relax about McTominay and Fred. It really isn't worth getting angry about. Yes, Donny should be given a chance, but he never gets a chance. So I wouldn't stress about it. What needs to happen is Donny van de Beek needs to be allowed to leave. The disgusting thing for me with Lingard now, with Donny now, is that they just won't let him leave. Ranić himself said in the press conference, "I'd want to leave if I was him, but there's other things going on, and the other things going on is that they're scared if they get an injury crisis, they might have to use him. Well, maybe use him before the injury crisis to make him feel valued. It's just crap coaching, really, crap man management. And I'm not blaming Ranić for that. He's only been there a few weeks. This is the last 2 years. Alanga's hungry and Ralph's recognising it, and I love it, says Pepe. I think it's totally justifiable that Maguire doesn't start or Rashford doesn't start. But the great thing about Lindelof starting and Alanga starting is that if this was Ollie, Rashford and Maguire would play. And you can't argue with that because there's Beth on the screen saying Ronaldo and Alanga and she's happy. I think that this is change. It's not a reset change, but it's still a big change. How many times did Rashford play injured last year? How many times did Harry Maguire play 3 games in a week? And this is changing at Manchester United, and I think it's the right thing to do. So I'm encouraged by it, and I'm happy. For me, I'm happy with the back 5 again. I'm happy with the front 3. It's just the midfield, but that it wouldn't matter who the midfield was. I was worried about the midfield against Villa with Matic and Fred and Bruno. So I'm still going to be worried about the midfield with McTominay and Fred and Bruno. That's the area that concerns me. I hope we see a bit of that tonight, a bit of Ronaldo, a bit of Sue. It'd be nice to see. But we've got to win. We've got to win. Obviously, it'd be very nice to win well. I expect this game to have a lot of goals in it. Brentford, a high-energy team, and I think we're going to play with a high line. So certainly in the first half, I expect to see goals across the 90 minutes. But right here, right now, and I'm sure Ranić would agree, I don't know how many of you would agree, I'd take a scrappy 1-0. I really would. I'd be over the moon with that. So let's see what happens. Easy 2-0 win, says Hatim. There's no such thing as an easy 2-0 win for Manchester United. Martial is on the bench, sure. Thanks everyone who's doing their super chats, by the way. We can get them up on the screen for you now. Daniel's just put one up. Brentford's Janssen was often Lindelof's centre-back partner in Sweden's national team. Retired from a national team now, though, says Daniel. There you go. Yeah, it's all about the victory for me. Ivan Toney, United stand legend, definitely one to look out for. He's not a bloody United stand legend on my career mode. He's a bit shit, Bram, really. Andreas, that midfield still being those 2 plonkers and not trying Donny van de Beek or Jesse for passing ability is the one thing to make me question Ralph. I fear a loss, says Andreas. Look, you know what I think is I think that we needed we need a holding midfielder. I can't believe that if we got the right manager in with the right backing, he'd sit there and go, "Don't buy me a holding midfielder. I'm really happy with McTominay and Fred." I don't think anybody would. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I can't be asked to talk about Donny anymore. What I would say about Donny is I would never, ever, ever subscribe to the view that he's not good enough because the evidence isn't there. You know, how is he not good enough? He's not given a chance. Oh, we're all going to trust Ollie now. We're going to trust Ranić now. You don't know what the fuck's going on behind closed doors. I think in relation to Maguire, you've got to say he's been dropped. Yeah, you've got to say he's been dropped because he's been on the bench for both games, and saying he's not fit enough to start a game. Come on, we played Harry Maguire against Leicester when he trained the morning before, so of course he is. So Lingard's injured in the embargo section of the press. Cavani is unknown, maybe injury. Sancho only had just come back from injury versus Villa, so probably had another knock. They're all injured apparently. Cavani, Shaw's took a knock as well, and Cavani as well. So apparently they're all injured, and yeah. So no fullbacks on the bench either. We don't really have any fullbacks because the backups beyond the 2 are on loan, aren't they? Brandon Williams is on loan, so yeah, it is what it is. But I'm going to go for a 3-2 win to Manchester United. I'm going to stick with what I've always said. Hi, Mark. I'm not sure why McFred are always getting picked. If we can't see problems with them, definitely Rangnick could also. There should be some reasons why Donny is not starting, and it should be asked in a press conference, as United voice. I disagree. I think it's been asked a lot enough. I just think he needs to be allowed to leave. That's what frustrates me. Donny van de Beek should be allowed to get on with his career because United have destroyed it. Whether you think he's good enough or not, we've destroyed his career. So he should be allowed to go. Thoughts on playing Ronaldo as a winger? Seemed to work well for him in Juventus and Real Madrid. Why not here? I've never seen him as a striker. He is a striker now, Thal. That's what he's evolved into. I'm usually optimistic and positive, but again, that midfield scares me. McFred, nice to see Ronaldo and Elanga. Hopefully a good pair-up, says Apollo. If we can get the ball to them. Don't you think you have spent so much energy on Donny? He says, I haven't spent any energy on him. We've been losing the midfield battle for over a year now and still playing the same two. We'll never control the midfield with them in it, says Adgar. It's sad to want Donny to go. I want him to do it for his career. He deserves it. Also, good afternoon, Mark. Hope you're doing well, says Butterpants. Yes, I agree with you on that one, and I hope you're doing well as well. Yeah, I'm way past the whole outrage that he's not getting any starts. I didn't expect him to start. There's no reason why he shouldn't have started, but I didn't expect him to start. And I think he needs to be allowed to go. It's as simple as that. On the way, the ground, interesting that Brentford are playing their new keeper they just signed with no Premier League experience, is Edward Walters. Keep an eye on that. If it wasn't for your show, this season would have been absolute garbage, says Kane. The football's been so bad. Thanks for making match days more fun. Thank you, Kane. Thanks for being part of it. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and smash a like on the video. And thanks for the super chats. Just had another one from DK. Says, I've started my exchange semester in Schweiden, and we had to introduce ourselves with an object. One guy had a United shirt and said he will always bounce back like Manchester United. I love his confidence, says DK. Do you wish Graham Potter was the United manager, says Landon? I actually think United's biggest problem is the ownership. I think if we had decent owners, we'd have decent directors of football, we'd have decent coaches, we'd have decent players. I think that, changing the manager is like changing the driver of the car. He doesn't build the car. He just drives it. So, look, Graham Potter's a really good coach. I think Rangnick's a good coach, but you don't understand what's going on behind the scenes. I think it's a shambles, an absolute shambles. We're trying to run a brand or a social media company. We're not trying to run a football club. And that's been the problem for too long now. High line, keep it tight. Greenwood needs to fill in defensively and in transition. McFred needs to cough the ball up, break up play, needs to win 50-50s. Yeah, I want to see the tempo of the first half an hour that we saw against Villa. I want to see the ball moving a lot quicker. It's game day. Let's get it, says Portuguese Power. And Nick Shelley, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Thank you for becoming a member. And Pranav has just said, it's so refreshing to see someone standing up to Prats like Maguire and not picking him if he's bad. Also dropping Rashford and Elanga, good call. Well, yeah, Pranav, I mean, look, I disagree with Maguire's not playing because he's not fit yet. I disagree with Rashford's not playing because he's not fit yet. They're both on the bench. They've both been on the bench since Saturday. They're fit enough to play. They're benched. They're dropped. If Maguire had started today, I'd have said Lindelof had been dropped. McTominay's starting today. Matic has been dropped. It's as simple as that. So, and look, Matic was at fault for 2 of the goals, as was Fred. So, one of them survived and one of them hasn't. If you ever wondered what Rhino's first touch would look like, just watch Fred play, says Butterpants. And hey, Mark, I'm really surprised to see Maguire and Rashi getting dropped. This is good news, right? Says Surish. Well, it's not. I'm not going to define it as good news. I think it's good news. I think it's good news because it shows a different path that we're walking down. Absolutely no doubt at all that under the previous manager, both would have started, despite a good performance from Elanga and a reasonable performance from Lindelof. This is a new manager making big decisions. Harry Maguire's the captain of Manchester United, and he's not starting. That is a big step forward. And on the captaincy, I believe it's Bruno Fernandes again, who is the captain, which I disagree with. Ronaldo should be the captain, but Bruno lives up. No, I'm not saying that. Bruno idolizes Ronaldo. How can Bruno tell Ronaldo what to do? I don't know why we don't just give the captaincy to Ronaldo. It's the most obvious thing in the world. It just seems a bit political to me. Don't worry, Harry, you're dropped, but we won't give your captaincy to somebody who can take it. But I'd give it to Ronaldo. If Ralph Rangnick dropped Maguire, then maybe that report of him saying he's not good enough is true, says Plot. It's not. Mark, I'm struggling to see any positives in Ralph up to now. Mostly still poor football. Same squad getting picked. I'm gutted we had to fresh start. But Joe, do you not agree that I've just explained a big change? Like Maguire and Rashford would definitely normally start under the last manager. So they are big decisions. All right. You're probably not getting all the decisions you want, but they are still big decisions. Hi, Mark. What you reckon to Ronaldo to score first as Brandon? I hope we see a Ronaldo goal tonight. It feels like I can't remember. But when was the last Ronaldo goal? I can't think. I'm so very tired. I've done a lot of driving today, but I know he scored the penalty against Norwich. But has he scored since then? It's he scored against Burnley, didn't he? Actually, so yeah, it'd be nice to see a Ronaldo goal. Hey, Mark, what you reckon Ronaldo score first on that? How is Eric Ramsey still our set piece coach? No set piece goal since last April, I suppose, says Subbo. I thought he was going to be a good appointment, to be fair. Mark, any chance you can get those geese signed up? Would prefer them over McTominay, says David Taylor. I think they're having a great time at Centre Parks, to be honest. I don't think they'd fancy a life at Carrington. Hi, Mark. Is this the start of Maguire losing his captaincy, says Christopher? I don't think so. I think if it was given to Ronaldo, it would be. I think Bruno's a very political choice because they know that when Maguire comes back, they can just give it to him. Let's hope United are able to deliver the result we all want. Good to see Harry and Rashi being dropped, says my dope. And hi, Mark. Happy to see Alanga starting. And fully agree, Maguire not starting has just not been anywhere near good enough. But anyway, let's get your needs. Let's go your Reds, says Chris. Pleased to see big players being dropped for bad form. I hope you're keeping well since your bad night, Mark. Thanks, Nate. And anyone want to meet up for a pizza? I'll be near that bus stop in Hounslow. Jesse and Anthony will probably join us, says Donny van der Beek. There is another angle to this game as well, and that is that if if we win, we're playing West Ham on Saturday. I'd be fuming if there was any changes for the team if we win. So, that was why. I mean, obviously, I just wanted to beat Villa. It was simple as that. But if we'd beaten Villa, I was like, you've got to pick the same team against Brentford. He's pretty much picked the same team. The two changes, well, Ronaldo for Cavani was right. McTominay for Matic was predictable. But it's pretty much the same team as Villa. If they can win tonight, you'd argue it's got to be the same team again, which I think is encouraging. So, look, hopefully they can win. We need to win tonight. It's not one of those games where, if we lose, we go again. No, we've got to win. End McFred, says Cars. And welcome to the Members Club, Gary Taylor. Gary Taylor. Gary Taylor. It doesn't mean anything. Cavani had a muscular problem. He wouldn't have been starting anyway. Martial is on the bench. I don't know what everybody thinks about that. What do you think about Martial on the bench, everybody? I mean, look, Cavani's not fit. He's a striking option. To be honest with you, I think Martial being on the bench today is probably quite important for us because Cavani's not obviously there. So if we need to bring a striker on, but I don't really see Ronaldo not, unless Ronaldo gets injured, I suppose. He's still coming back from injury. So, yeah. I'm not wearing a kilt, you cheeky bastard. I'm not wearing a kilt. I am wearing a kilt. Scooby-Doo. McTominay's back, so I've got my kilt on. Eee. No, it's not. It's pyjama bottoms. Mark, are we going to buy or not? 66 Gaming. I've always thought we would let 2 players go and bring a player in January. I'm going to stick to that prediction. There's not really a lot of logic to it at the moment, but I still stick to that prediction. Look, whatever you think about Matic, I still think that a big reason why we played well in the first half an hour against Villa was because Matic conducted the game, allowed Bruno and Fred to press high up the pitch, dropped in between the 2 centre-backs and took the ball off the 2 centre-backs. Who's going to do that tonight? McTominay, he hides from the defenders and hasn't got a passing range. Fred, well, if you do Fred, his first touch is terrible and McTominay can't press as good as Fred can. So that position for me is the game. Like, that is the game. Hi, Mark. Great show. You up? Loving the overlay with all this info. Starting 11, last 10 results. Awesome stuff, mates. Yeah, that's Draughty's dad then, isn't it? Hi, Mark. Great show. I would put Dyer as captain. He can see everything and he tells the players if something is right, says Matty. I mean, I've played Villa, Wolves, Newcastle, Burnley, and collected 5 points in total. Sadly, that's not top form. It is closer to mid-table form, says Joe. Brentford will win today, says Joshua Carpenter-Jones. Well, you got the score wrong for Brighton, so hopefully that will be okay. Can you play the bagpipes at half-time, says Haggis. And how much do you think Lingard is valued at for Newcastle? If we get rid of Maguire, how much would you get near? Adam, he'll be going on loan, Lingard. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. Opinions on Ronaldo move to left wing and Martial plays striker tonight, says Landon. I'm not massively interested in Maguire, in Martial starting. He wants to leave the club. So, you know, I think we need him on the bench because we haven't got Cavani. But I'm not going down that road of Martial, 3.0 or whatever. I don't see that. I like Martial, but I think it's time to go, and I think he will go. Didn't know Matic out of contract in the summer. That's Pogba, Matic, and Van der Beek we'll have to replace in midfield this summer. Oh, we still got McFred though, James. Don't worry about that. We'll always have McFred. Just having a quick look on Twitter. Somebody said, "Can you just check Twitter?" I love it when people say check Twitter. Let's check Twitter. So some comments from Ranyik coming in. Jadon Sancho is not in the squad due to personal reasons. This is coming from MUTV. And I don't think we've got any comments from Ranyik coming in, but there was something that... Okay, so Jadon Sancho, there was a funeral today. He asked me if he could not play against Brentford. It would not make sense for him to be part of the squad. So personal reasons there, why not? And yeah, not a lot you can do about that. Thoughts in relation to that have to be to back the player, of course. Edison Cavani had to drop out after training yesterday because he had some muscular problems. For me, it was logical and happy to have Cristiano back in the team. They're the two quotes that we've got from Ranyik so far. Look, in relation to Cavani, I don't think he played particularly well against Villa, and he's injury prone. He is injury prone. Simple as that. When you order Kante and Cruz from Wish and get Fred and McTominay, says MVP. Just a guess, but isn't it a possibility that Maguire and Rashford were two of the problems behind the scenes causing friction, and this is why they're dropped, says LJ? I think that would be speculative, LJ, but, Dylan John, welcome to Members Club. And if we lose tonight, do you think top four is gone, says Dean? I personally think it's gone anyway. But yeah, I think we're going to make it virtually, not impossible, but very, very difficult. We've got to win tonight because we've got West Ham on Saturday, which is a huge game. I don't know why that's not on the telly, actually. I would say play Martial. If he does well, then he'll be easier to move on. My daughter says you talk too much and we'll get a sore throat, says Apollo 30X. Are you expecting a high line tonight, and how concerned are you about the runners through the midfield with McFred, says Tyler Wilson? I think our midfield is always, even if we win today, I'd still be worried about the midfield on Saturday. Declan Rice and Soucek. So the midfield is always going to be a problem, but hopefully we will play a high line. Ranyik's choices of substitutions have been absolutely abysmal ever since he's arrived. Hope he does better, says Davin. Hi, Mark. Heard you went to a lot of funerals this week. Hope you're okay. It can be hard. I had to go for 4 funerals last month for family, says My Big Melons. Yeah, I was at a funeral today for my gran, and she died before Christmas, but yeah, a bit of a backlog. So yes, 4 funerals and a wedding in the last year. But, it's part of life. Welcome to United Stand Members Club, Akil, Ayaz, and Raven says, everyone is happy Elanga is playing, but Forgetty is the same as Greenwood. Shoot first, pass later. Ronaldo might as well do his shopping, says Raven. I agree. But we've not really seen enough of Elanga yet. There is a possibility that he can be a little bit more creative. So let's see. The wing-backs love to bomb forward, says Robert McCormack. For Brentford, yeah. Not wanting to be too Ricky. But I do agree that I think that I do think that one thing Ricky always talks about, and one of the big things that he's spoken about even in the Dan James years, was that, God, the Dan James years, it makes it sound like it was a good period. the wing backs have got the wingers have got to, well, basically Alanga and Greenwood have got to support Dalot and Telles. They have, because I know we criticise the midfield a lot, but you know, it's like you can't blame the defence when we concede a goal. And I know that sounds stupid, but if you know anything about football, you'll agree. The goals we conceded against Villa, 2 of them, neither were the goalkeeper's fault. They're not savable. And neither were the centre-backs' fault, because both goals are from midfield runners. So, you know, the centre-backs are there to deal with the centre-forwards and the wide forwards. So, look, but sometimes it won't be the midfielder's fault. The midfield might lose a runner because the runner is a fullback. And that's that, you know, you've got, I agree with Ricky, you've got to defend as a team. And the modern game is that fullbacks are going to attack. You know, Villa's Matty Cash, Digne of Villa, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, most fullbacks in a team are there to attack. And if they attack, the wide forward's got to go with them. Otherwise, you're going to lose runners. And then you lose runners and you lose goals. This channel is better therapy sessions. You're the GOAT, Mark, says Anabav. Thank you very much, mate. And Mark, great show. Thanks. Based on reports, your happy players seem to be the English clique. Is Brexit FC coming back to bite us? No top team has an English spine anymore, says Carl Walsh. Well, I don't know. I don't know about the cliques. And to be honest with you, I don't really care about the cliques. What I do care about is Manchester United winning tonight. Maybe Ralph will see it use Donny when gets his CDM, says Tozif. I don't think he will. Random question, Mark. Do you ever get recognised going out because of the United stand, says Nizzle? No, never happened at all. Never. No, I do sometimes. Manchester United will lost, says Robin. I think lose, not lost, but yeah, I get your point. Andreas says, Ranić has given the captaincy to Van der Beek. He will guide the bench players to their seats and structure their water bottles. Long live management, says Andreas. Sorry, did you say something, Drawsy? Yeah, could mean they're lost, yeah. Yeah, so Jadon Sancho's out because of a funeral today. You know, look, I was at a funeral today, and I'm sure many of you have been at a funeral, and I'm sure some people would say, well, that wouldn't stop me playing football. But I think, I think, come on, let's be compassionate. We're all human beings. You don't know the relationship. You don't know how things can impact on people. And if you're in a bad place, even eating might not feel like a good thing to do. So playing football probably isn't. It's just exactly like Carl said. He's only human. And to be honest with you, he wasn't going to start, was he? So he's going to be sat on the bench where he doesn't want to be, thinking about something in real life that makes him feel down, probably feeling worse. So Robert McCormack says, was it Donny's funeral? Come on. Thought Goldbridge had a kilt on then, just gaming bar. God, how behind is your internet? And any chance you could get Drawty to call me a prat, says Thomas. I'm sure when I take a loo break, he can come on and do that. Maguire is the captain. No, he's not. And remember what Sir Alex Ferguson told his players when he brought in Van Persie. If you don't get the ball to him, you won't bloody play. Should be the same with Ronaldo. Well, I agree with that. I think that's a very good point, Mr. 1972. It's like what? It's like that. You know, remember when we played Everton and Khabib was talking to Sir Alex and somebody recorded it, and basically he said, you don't drop Cristiano Ronaldo. You've got to play your best players. That was sort of the Sir Alex Ferguson mantra. It's like, you know, get the ball to Ronaldo. And I don't know why that's never been United's mantra since we brought Ronaldo back. Like every player, it's almost like, you know, like things that existed in the past that were bad and you had to get rid of them. Like, and they still do exist, but you know, there's loads of stuff. I'm not going to start talking about all the isms, but you know what I'm talking about. They were bad. They happened a lot more than they do now. And, you know, quite rightly, they've been stamped out of society, more or less. It almost feels like you can't say, just get the ball to Ronaldo now, because you've got to be fair. You've got to be fair to everybody. You know, players' rights. You can't just say, get the ball to Ronaldo. What about Rashford? What about Mason? What about Bruno? But you can just say, get the ball to Ronaldo, because he's one of the greatest players that's ever been. And it's almost like United don't want to do that because you might upset people getting the ball to Ronaldo. Get the ball to bloody Ronaldo. Please check community for updated sliders for USFC. OS community. Okay. What's up? Mr. Bowen, I need more than that. What's OS community? I don't know what that is. It's something to do with the career mode, I think. Why isn't United going for Sule? Contract out this summer, and he's like a good HM, says Guy. And remember what Sir Alex Ferguson told players when he brought in Van Persie: if you don't get the ball to hit, I've read that. I read it once and I read it twice because it's good. Well done. Kickoff is at 8 o'clock and it's on BT. I was getting confused because I was pretty sure that this game was originally going to be on Amazon, wasn't it? Or was that the Brighton game? Do you have any plans to continue the Spotify podcast? I really enjoyed it. Helped me sleep sometimes too, says Brajash. We do. I know I talk a lot, but most of it's on YouTube, which isn't conducive to. I hate it because sometimes when I go and watch Seb training, I like to listen to stuff, but with YouTube, you can't turn your phone off and just listen to it like you can with a bloody with a podcast. So yeah, we have got plans for that, definitely. May have missed, but any thought on the Stam comments, says James Sherwood. Yeah, very good point. Yeah. I like this one. So basically, Yap Stam has spoken about Harry Maguire and basically said Wes Brown was better because he was more mobile. So I agree. He's basically saying that as a centre-back for Manchester United, you need to play one-on-one. And what he means is you need to be able to let people attack. And if you're left with the centre-forward, you deal with the centre-forward. It's called world-class defending. Yap Stam could do it. You'd leave Yap Stam with Batistuta on his own. And, all right, Batistuta might score, but Yap Stam would deal with him as well. Varane, you can leave him on his own. Vidic and Rio, you leave him on their own. Maguire, can't leave him on his own. You can't leave. It's like leaving a puppy in your kitchen with a load of cakes. You'll come back to a load of shit and no cakes. So Maguire cannot be left on his own. But I'm glad Yap Stam said that because he's right. The whole point of having world-class centre-backs is that you leave them on their own to do their job. 2v2, 1v1, whatever. Maguire can't play like that. I've been saying it for the last 2 weeks. Maguire's a good centre-back in a team that plays a deep line with defenders and midfielders close to him. But that's not conducive to being one of the best teams in the land, because you've got to press high to do that. Just Google OS Community Slider. See you tomorrow, says Mr. Bowen. Oh, I will. Don't worry about it. Top 4 gone. Reminds me of United career mode. Europa League, here we come. And dropping down to the Conference League, says Petter. With all the players leaving in the summer. Oh, we got 11. With all the players leaving in the summer, how are we going to have a functional squad? Any thoughts? Says Stale. And I think the summer will take care of itself. We've got to focus on the here and now. The best example of cliques affecting performances was the England squad with all those elite players who failed. Fear the same is happening here, says Carter. Okay. Right, we're going to get Levin on. We're about half an hour away from the start of the match, so let's see what Levin's got to say. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
He's gone All-American.
Go represent the American fans.
Yeah, we have got a lot of American fans, so Scottish as well. Scooby-Doo. Anyway, Levin, how are you?
I'm good. Can people hear me?
I can hear you. Can everyone else hear you? Yeah.
Hey, how's everyone doing? You guys good? You guys all right? Hope everyone's having a good day. Good time. I'm all right, Mark. I'm all right. Life's good. I'm healthy. I'm feeling well.
Are you happy with that team from Manchester United tonight? What's your thoughts on it?
Can you ever be happy nowadays? That's a great question. Look, I know people have the concerns. I'm all right with the team. I still have my concerns, of course, right? Like Brentford are a team who their low block is a very, very strong one, very aggressive, very strong, much better than Villa's. So of course, right, people are going to be looking where the creative players in attack. 100%. I know Sancho is out. He had some personal problems, so prayers for Sancho. Hope he's doing all right. You're gonna have concerns there. I know a lot of people didn't like McTominay. I'm not gonna ever be someone who's gonna if you don't like McTominay, fair enough. You don't like McTominay. I'm never gonna be here to try convince you to like McTominay. But McTominay, he is, in terms of our midfield options, he is the best physical specimen we have. And if you watch Brentford, you will know they are one of the best physical teams, and they cause teams problems physically. They have players who can dominate, some of Liverpool's best physical players. Like they are a dominant physical team. So McTominay in midfield isn't as bad as I think a lot of people are making out to seem. Of course, I'm concerned about the formation, Mark, because he talks about playing a 4-3-3 and playing the system he played against Villa or something similar. And I didn't like the system. I think it has too much clear weakness. And we just don't have a 6, like a lone 6.
That worries me a lot.
Legs,
who do you think you put in that position?
I think the person that would make the most sense would be McTominay, just because of his physical profile. But we all know McTominay isn't a 6, right? Like McTominay, McTominay has the physical profile to be a 6 at some point in his career, maybe. But right now, he's just not a 6. So if he is going to play McTominay there, I do have my concerns again. But I just don't know who else it would be, because it can't be Fred. It can't be Fred, and it's just can't be anyone else.
Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. It's like, whatever you think about Matic, and he faded big time at the end of that game and probably cost us at least one of the goals. But in the first half an hour, he's dropping him. He can do it in his sleep. I'd drop him between the centre-backs. I take the ball off the centre-backs. I dictate the game. I let Fred and Bruno go and press, which they're quite good at. You take Matic out of that team. And look, I'm not going to be... this is not about McTominay and Fred. It can be Bruno, Donny, anybody. There's nobody that can do that job, and Matic can only do it for an hour. It's just, it baffles me, if it wasn't United's board, that we've got a decent squad, but we actually don't have somebody like a Rodri or a Fabinho or a Jorginho, which is so important in the modern game. We just don't have anybody. And you're right, McTominay doesn't like taking the ball off the back four. There's plenty of examples of him hiding. Fred, if he takes the ball off the back four, it could bounce off him somewhere. And then you lose Fred's ability to press, which is quite good, which McTominay's not as good at, but McTominay's good on the edge of the box. You really are putting square pegs in round holes. It's not the player's fault. We don't have anybody. And I'm sure Rangnick wishes he did.
Yeah, and a big problem we're going to have is Brentford are a really good pressing team, and they can press high up the pitch very, very well and cause teams issues that way. And so if technically we are not all there today, like if players just aren't on it, and aren't sharp, they will punish us. No doubts about that. They will punish us. And so I actually expect us to play quite direct. I think we are going to play it long. And I think that's probably, I think Elanga would have played anyway, but having Elanga in the team, Greenwood, that probably will help with those two, where I do expect us to just play it over the top quite a bit from our centre-backs. It'll be very hard for us to play out from the back in this kind of a game. We were able to actually keep the ball pretty well against Villa, because their fullbacks aren't aggressive. They don't really press. They're not out of possession. Villa aren't an amazing team. Brentford much better when they don't have the ball than Villa. So it'll be hard.
Yeah, I mean, let's focus on the potential positives here. That the first half an hour against Villa was very, very good, and also Maguire and Rashford both on the bench. For me, technically maybe not fully fit, but ultimately they've been on the bench for 2 games in a row. I think you've got to say they've been dropped. Elanga and Lindelof. Some people feel that Rangnick's not really doing enough to change. I think that's look, obviously there's always room for improvement. He's only been there 6 weeks, but I do think that that's a very distinct change, where we know the previous regime would have brought Rashford and Maguire back into that team.
Yeah, Rangnick's changed a lot. The actual way we're playing and the system we're playing is very different to anything Ollie was trying to do or doing. And of course, the personnel changes, like you just mentioned, those are things that, look, I did expect Maguire to be in the team, just simply because I'm so used to just Maguire coming right back into the team. So yeah, look, I worry because, again, you referenced the game against Villa the first half. I still stand by the fact that it wasn't as good as people made out to be. It was an okay first half, much better than what we had done before. Don't get me wrong. It was better than previous games. But when you're looking at it in the grand scheme of how we need to be playing as a team, it was an okay first half against a Villa side that weren't up for it in that first half, and they got much better throughout the game.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
If we play the way we did, honestly, I do believe if we play the way we did in that first half against Villa, against this Brentford team, and they are up for it, which I expect them to be, because I think they are very confident in their ability, because they've been able to hurt better teams than us this season, we will get punished. In that Villa game, we didn't really press high. The second one, we didn't really press high in that game at all. I expect us to in this game, just because just because Brentford, they're not technically, like, they don't have like the best players. Like Brentford's like defense and centre backs aren't like phenomenal, like on the ball or anything. So I do expect us to be a bit more aggressive. Hopefully, if we're not, again, we will be punished. But my biggest fear and the biggest question mark for me, Ivan Toney is a phenomenal striker. And if you've watched Brentford this season or early on in the season, they had David Raya who would launch balls to Toney. And that was like Brentford's main way of attacking. And like, it was very effective. And he got injured, right? Which is good for everybody else, bad for him. And hopefully he recovers and everything's good. But they've brought in a new goalkeeper. And I think he's making his debut tonight. And he's not played. And I don't know much about him, but I'm assuming they've brought him in because he can do what their backup Martinez can't do in launching those balls long forward and being very direct. So, you know, it's his debut. He might be feeling it. He might have a good game. He might be able to provide what they've been missing. And if that's the case, then again, not a great thing for us. But look, we have quality in our team. You know, we have exciting players. Elanga, Ronaldo's back in. Greenwood, hopefully he can have a good game. We've got good enough players to go out there and win this game, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think we will win. I know we normally talk this towards close to kickoff, but I do think we'll win. There's very rarely any logic to any prediction with Manchester United because you never know. Like it's like the Forrest Gump line, isn't it? You never know what you're going to get, and you don't. I do think we'll win. I think there'll be a lot of goals in the game. I've gone for a 3-2, which is neither here nor there. But I do think we'll win the game, and I think that we have to. We just simply have to. I was looking at the league table before you came on, and it's one of those games that if you draw it or you lose it, that league table starts to look really bad. Not just but people just get obsessed with top four. It's not just top four. It's Wolves and Brighton and teams behind you that you start to think, bloody hell. Yeah. And look, whatever about Ollie getting the sack, Ollie was getting criticised because we were blowing a title race. We don't want to be in a situation where we're ending down, sort of 8th place. It's a massively important game, and with all due respect to Brentford, we are Manchester United. You've got Cristiano Ronaldo up front. You've got Varane in the midfield. You've got Bruno. You've got David De Gea. We really should be winning this game, but it's that fear that causes the issue.
Yeah, and I do want to address something because I've seen a couple of people in chat say this, and I think a lot of it is self-reporting. A lot of these people are actually exposing themselves. If you are looking at Ivan Toney going, he's only got 4 goals, how good can he be? You're just showing you've not watched him much this season. Ivan Toney is a physically dominant player. Part of the reason why his goal scoring output hasn't been as great this season is because he's been asked to do a different role. He's not been asked to be the main goal scorer in their team this season. A lot of the time, he's actually facilitating for his strike partner. And actually, when you look at the underlying numbers of his goal scoring, it's actually not been as bad as you'd think, even with the 4 goals. Look, I don't even want to say much just because we're probably going to walk away from the game and he'll have a great game where people are going, wow, that Toney guy's what a player. And then you know what I mean? And then that's that. But yeah, if you've watched Toney, and it's the big games as well, it's been in the big games where he's really just shown, wow, like he doesn't fear anybody, like at all. He doesn't fear Van Dijk, Matip, no one, no centre back, he has problems with. So.
What do you think about the return of Anthony Martial, Cavani? Look, Cavani being Cavani, whatever anybody thinks about Cavani, and I think there's a lot of positive thoughts about Cavani. We knew what we were going to get with him. You never know from game to game whether he's going to get a muscular problem. He's got a muscular problem again. Ronaldo's only just coming back from a muscular problem. Martial showing as an out-and-out striker is what he wants to be. That if we need one today, he's there on the bench, but obviously he still wants to go. What's your thoughts on the Martial situation? Should we still be letting him go, or is he going to be happy being a bit of a bench player? Could he get more than that?
Well, I don't want the situation to get as messy as it did last week, right? Because that did get really messy, and I think that was an issue that I just don't want to see happen at our club. No matter how far we fall, right, in terms of our stature, that problems like that are just really messy. I don't want to see that. I think Rangnick initially was trying to make a point with some of the players where it's like, even if you are a player that wants to leave, your approach and your like attitude and your mentality towards that, like, will impact whether or not you still will be used and still will be involved. And like, I think that's a great point. Like the way he talks about Pogba, where it's like, the way he spoke, Pogba realistically, he's probably going to be leaving. But from what it sounds like, at least Pogba's saying, look, I want to play, probably because he needs to show teams that he can stay healthy. But look, I want to play, right? And I think if Martial is going to be like, yeah, I want to play, then why not? Let's make use of him while he's here. But if he doesn't, and I like to think he wouldn't be that way. I would like to think he wouldn't down tools or whatever. Then yeah, sure, let's use him if we can get some use out of him. I'm never against that with anybody.
No, I'm just looking at some pictures there of Ronaldo and Elanga before the game as well, deep in conversation. Ronaldo obviously giving him some tips and advice, which, look, you know, whatever about whatever, because we don't actually know the truth ins and outs. But one thing we have seen with Rashford and Greenwood is an inability to provide service, not just for Ronaldo. You know, it's not the Ronaldo show. Cavani at the weekend. It would be nice to see Elanga today. I thought his performance against Villa at the weekend was fantastic. It was hungry. He clearly had the confidence that he wanted to score a goal, and you know, probably shot a few times when he shouldn't. But it would be great to see a bit of Elanga being a bit of a creative Elanga today, and he could really pin down that spot because we spoke about it. He's got a left foot. Rashford's always going to cut inside. Elanga's got a left foot. So I'm excited to see what he can do today. Look, expectations should be low. Maybe that was just a one-off debut full game, but pressure's not there either. He's an exciting player.
Guys, buy your Elanga stocks. You know what I mean? Buy early because we are going to the moon, right? Elanga, yeah, I'm a big fan of Elanga. And I don't think Elanga's like necessarily like the most talented player coming through our academy, but he's one of my favorites just because, you know, like you sort of alluded to, he just works so hard and he seems to have the right sort of mentality. And today will be another test for him because, like I've said multiple times, and I'm emphasizing this just because I think it will be a big factor in this game. Brentford physically are dominant, and mentally as a unit and as a team, they are on it. Like a big part of this game will simply be just like who's winning the second balls, who's really hungry and fighting to have the ball and keep the ball. And I like to think Elanga is one of the people who I could trust to sort of do that, just because he's never shown me otherwise.
It's interesting because we talk about Elanga, Ronaldo, Greenwood, and people have different opinions on all three of them. But ultimately, the only reason I think Elanga thrived against Villa is because that midfield did a much better job than we've seen in recent games. And even with that, Villa took that midfield. They took the midfield in the second half, and I don't think Fred had a good game apart from the pressing for the second goal for us. I thought defensively he was very, very poor. Obviously, McTominay's had a very poor season, albeit with one or two decent games. And Bruno's had games where he goes missing. Is that the area where this game stands and falls again, with the midfield area? Because every team, let's be honest, from Norwich to Newcastle, feels that they don't come into the game fearing anything. I'm sure Ronaldo, those defenders will just literally on reputation be thinking, oh, bloody hell, I'm playing Ronaldo today. But that midfield, is that where it's won and lost? Or do you think we can get some joy actually going down the flanks with Torres and Delay?
Well, I think we'll have to. I don't think we can play through the midfield. Brentford's press is just really good. And physically, they will outdo us there. Like, Fred's biggest weakness, especially in games like this, is just as much as he works hard and he like gets about the place, he's not physically dominant. Like, he can get done very easily. We've seen that with Fred already. And Bruno isn't like a physical specimen by any means as well. And so I do expect, that to be a difficult battle for them. But at the same time, as long as we are just technically secure, like you see the first half, the reason I think people really like the first half, and one of the biggest positives I had from the first half against Villa was that our passes were just about right. Bruno had a couple overcooked ones here, there, but he likes to be expansive with it. For the most part, we were quite sharp, we were quite crisp, right? And if we can do that again, I don't think we'll have as much problems. I don't think Brentford's, biggest strengths will necessarily come into play as much in this game. But if we're a bit sloppy, if we're just not that, bit sharp and bit on it, it's a long 90 minutes. It is a long 90 minutes, Mark.
One thing I did want to bring in is because I think even after the game, the team news came in for the Villa game, and I was like, oh, that's surprising. But obviously Ronaldo was injured and pretty much team picked itself, I suppose. I really wanted to see this team given another chance because it excited me in that first half. And I didn't think he would do it. I thought, well, obviously we've seen McTominay come back in, Ronaldo's come in, but I did think he would go back to Rashford and Maguire, and he hasn't done that. Do you think that is a long-term plan of Rangnick? Because a lot of people are talking about that. Is it going to be, a hard way back for Maguire and Rashford? Big game at the weekend. If they were to put in a good performance and win today, do you think this becomes his his default back four is, Elanga stays in long term? Or do you think Rangnick is just thinking this might be a kick up the backside for Maguire and Rashford? I will get them back in soon.
It's hard to say, just because I think Rangnick, at least from what he said, he does, really look at training as like a teller for, what he wants, and he wants to give players the opportunity to show that what they do in training can be applied on the pitch. And I think that's a lot of like the Elanga stuff, right? Where Elanga really impressed him in training, and so he went, hold on a minute, why have you not been playing? Try to do this for us in actual games, right? So I think that will be a part of it. And so, yeah, Maguire, Rashford, of course we know their limitations, their weaknesses, and part of that is why we've wanted them to potentially not play as much lately. But also, if they're getting outdone in training by some players who are hungrier than them, then yeah, they're going to stay out the team. And deserved, like that's deserved, right? Like, I think that's how most people would want it to work, right? The players who are working hardest and showing out the best on the pitch are the ones consistently playing. So I ain't got a problem with that.
No, and I think with Rashford, look, I'll give leeway to Rashford because I just think he's nowhere near the player he can be. Now, whether the player he can be or has been starts for United, well, let the battle commence. I agree with you on that one. Harry Maguire is a little bit more of an issue for me because I don't have a problem with Harry Maguire. And it's interesting, Yap Stam said this today. If you're going to be a Man United centre-back, and I suppose it's the same as Liverpool and Man City now, you've got to be able to be defending as a one-on-one. And what he means by that is that your fullback goes forward, your midfielders go forward, you stand with the striker. And if that ball goes up, you've got to be the dominant force. And he said, look, Wes Brown and Maguire, Wes Brown's got that ability, the mobility. I thought it was a great point from a defender who did that job at Manchester United, because I don't think ex-players necessarily means, brilliant foresight. Just look at Gaza. But I like Harry Maguire. I think he works very well in an England team that plays quite pragmatically. And I think he works very well in an Ollie team that played pragmatically. I don't know that he's going to work in this high line with fullbacks bombing forward. But we've got to, but I also agree. I mean, this is what I mean. I'm not slagging Harry Maguire off. Ultimately, he cost £80 million and he's the club captain. He can't just sit on the bench forever. It is something that's going to have to be solved. And I think it will have to be solved sooner rather than later. It's just interesting how he's going to do it. I don't know. I just don't see him sitting on the bench for the rest of the season. He's going to have to be found a way back into the team.
Yeah, and I don't think he will sit on the bench. I think eventually we'll get back into the team. I think the big problem and what, Yapsam's getting at is Maguire's really had problems this season, specifically with players sort of running at him, right? And sort of getting done in that sense where, he's made a lot of the wrong decision at times. He's maybe made the wrong turn, or he's not got the angles right. And that can be a problem as a defender. And it's really cost him a lot this season, I feel. And all you can really hope for is that that's being worked on, and like he's aware of that, right? And analysts at the club and whatnot are helping him to improve that. And because ultimately, as much as people don't like Maguire, and I know people will go like, Maguire's the worst centre-back in the league, he's the worst centre-back ever. And look, Maguire should have never been £80 million, but objectively, he's just not a bad defender. Like he's not, you know what I mean? Like he's not bad. Just purely bad. He's been bad this season. I will never deny that, but he's not just completely rubbish player. Yes, his weaknesses mean that, is he going to be someone who plays in this team, long term? I don't know, but he has his strengths. Aerially, he's one of the most dominant centre-backs in the Premier League. Yeah, he hasn't got his head on the end of corners for us as much as we would have wanted to, but defensively, he's done that brilliant for us over the past year, right? Progression out of the defence. When it comes to actually moving the ball out of defence and going forward, of all of our centre-backs over the past year, Maguire's been one of the best at that, right? So it's very easy for us to sit here and go like he's completely useless, he'll never get back in. He has uses, he does have uses, and we'll see how Rangnick sort of deals with him and, works him back into the team.
Leicester are beating Spurs 1-0. They kicked off at 7:30, so Leicester 1-0. That's pretty good for us, actually. A draw would be a nice result in that. Look, again, I'll go back to what we were talking about, Levin, and, some people think, I'm not impressed with Rangnick, he's not done enough. And I think, sometimes our expectations look, standards are low at this football club and they need to be a lot higher, but expectations for a manager that's only been there a few weeks, I think it's a pretty big thing to bench Maguire and Rashford 2 games in a row, and that's what he's done. we would not have seen this under the previous manager. So that to me is a big step forward. And also, look, one of the results of benching them is that for me, they're not on the bench forever. Like, they will be given a chance. And you hope that, look, Maguire's going to hate sitting on the bench tonight. You know, the camera's going to pan to him. So. Yeah. Same with Rashford. So you hope that, you know, in any walk of life, kick up the arse for people who are underperforming can make them think, I've got to take my opportunity when it comes, and I can't allow myself to be inconsistent again. So you hope that they do come back, and when they do come back, they're performing at the level of the players that they're going to replace, because Lindelof and Elanga are doing quite well at the moment.
Yeah. I don't have much more to add on to that, really. Like, yeah. I would say, though, as well, that I do want people to continue to emphasize that, because there's this narrative that's going around that's one, just lazy analysis, and it's just people just being just very obtuse. You know, there's a narrative that like Rangnick is just Ollie and he's doing all the exact same things as Ollie. If you can't see what's different between Rangnick's just approach, whether that be off the pitch and on the pitch, to Ollie, I hate to break it to you. Like, I really hate to break it to you, but you don't understand football as well as you maybe think you do. And I know that might be hard to hear. And what are you talking about, Levin? F you, you don't know nothing, man. Levin out, get out. I'm sorry, but just, you know, use this time, the anger and frustration you feel, use it to just go and actually just watch and look at the difference and think, actually, no, Ollie didn't do that. Actually, Ollie did this, but Rangnick doesn't do that. And you'll see there's a lot of differences. Like, it's not the same. It's this whole like Ralph Gunnar or Solskjaer thing that people do. It's kind of cringe, I'll be real. Like, it's a bit cringe to me, but you know, that's just me.
I tell you what I like about this team, and I've only just noticed it as the players come out onto the pitch, is that, again, apart from McTominay and Greenwood, it's 9 foreign players. And the only thing I like about that is, and I may have been a bit unfair, but when I think about foreign players, I do think about they're better technically. And I know the English game is getting better, but, you know, if we can just work Tellez or Delo into a situation where they can put a cross in, I'm starting to see Ronaldo rise. And, you know, Elanga's Swedish, and obviously we've got Varane and Lindelof. It's just, you know, I think it's not really the fact that there's 9 foreign players and 2 British players. It's just that, you know, it's something a bit different. I like the fact that Maguire and Rashford aren't playing and Wan-Bissaka and Shaw aren't playing, even though I like some of those are my favourite players at the club. I disagree with people who are saying that Rangnick's not making changes, because I just don't think we'd see a team like that under the previous regime. And ultimately, we are a squad. We need to develop, and that's the whole point of getting Rangnick in. And hopefully, we come out of the game with a win tonight.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people need to realize that a lot of the change we've seen has been forced. Like, since Rangnick's come, we've had a lot of problems with like players being injured and stuff. Like, who knows? Maybe he would have played Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka in this game, but they're both out. They're both ill, injured, whatever it is, right? So like, I credit him for making change and you know, doing what he thinks is best. But at the same time,
yeah, I think
he would have had to have made change. And
I think Shaw would have started tonight. I do.
Yeah. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, Levin, we're nearly at the start of the match. That's flown by. Thank you very much for popping on and chatting with me, because it always gets us quicker to the start of the match, which is the exciting bit. I will ask you, are you going for a United win tonight?
United win. I'll be real. I thought my early prediction was not 7-0 draw. It's not 7-0. My early prediction was 2-1 Brentford. But I'm going to go 1-1. Which
is absolutely fine. You know, I went with the draw at the weekend. It was right. And, you know, we're not out of the woods yet. It's a very difficult game. We've not shown... I mean, I think in our last few results, we've drawn with Villa. We've lost to Wolves in the league. So we've beaten Burnley. We've drawn with Newcastle. And we've drawn with Norwich. So we're not accumulating the points. But we're in the nice kits. And Ronaldo's back. So Viva Ronaldo. Viva Manchester United. Let's see if we can get the win.
I'm dying. I saw someone in chat go, if we lose, I swear, like, guys, hopefully everything's all right. But what I will say is, and this isn't everything in football, but tactically, from a tactical point of view, I do think Brentford have the upper hand on us in this game, which is why I was leaning towards a Brentford win. But even though they have the tactical advantage, we do have the quality advantage in most areas of the pitch. So that, again, could be enough to carry us through. But enjoy the game, guys. We'll have a fan forum afterwards. I don't know who's on it, but it will be fun. And hopefully it's a win and we can break down everything that happened. So
yeah, we want a Wednesday night fan forum with smiles on the face. That's what.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Thanks for popping on, Levin. Appreciate that.
Thank you for having me. See you guys all after the game.
Catch you in a bit, pal. Right, we're literally about to start off. They take the knee, and Ralph is reminding the players and fans that this is a squad game, says SK. Bruno, and we go. There we go. I agree there are changes I definitely like, just looking for better in-game management. Well, the first thing I'm looking at is who's the holding midfielder, and it's Scott McTominay. Now, that is interesting to me. Watch McTominay, because he goes fucking hiding a lot of the time. He's got to come and get that ball. McTominay as the 6. No problem with that. If it was Fred, I'd be saying, shit, his first touch is bad. I actually prefer McTominay. Look, we haven't got a holding midfielder. This is not a witch hunt. I'd rather it was McTominay than Fred, because I think Fred's good at going hunting the ball. Obviously, I just don't, the thing about McTominay is the two good games he's had this season is when he gets to the edge of the box. And we're playing him on the edge of our box again. That's what worries me about McTominay. We know that the thing McTominay's good at is on the opposition's edge of the box. But no rugby kickoff again. But this is a strength of Brentford straight away. Long throwing into the box. So you see the value of Scott McTominay here, because height is something that United have always been using recently. We didn't do the kickoff again, says Mima Day. So it's a long throwing into the box and headed away. Hi, Mark. Is this the first time there have been more Swedish players than English in the lineup, says Simon? Probably. A shot wide there from Brentford. Good start. It is a 4-3-3. McTominay's the holding midfielder with Fred as the right 8 and Bruno as the left 8. I actually like Bruno playing a bit deeper. I think he's tenacious. He can put a tackle in, and I don't like him playing too close to Ronaldo. But obviously, we've got to get Ronaldo into this game. So, De Gea with a kick out. Come on, second balls are going to be very important today. Well in Delo. Pogba would fit this season well. The system Manish, yes, he would. Well, Brentford are on the front foot here. So United need to just settle in and get hold. But this was the problem against Villa. Matic in the early minutes allowed us a platform and a high line. We're not playing high up here. Look how deep we're playing. This is completely different to Villa. That defensive line is deep. Do I not like that? Oh, I mean, what's that by McTominay there? You're the holding midfielder flicking it to their fucking centre-back. You're the conductor, mate. Calm it down. Yeah, we're playing a much deeper line here in the first few minutes. Keep an eye on that. I'll write that down as well. Deeper line. I don't think we've played Brentford in the league since 1940s. Early free kick here for Brentford, just to put one into the box. Leicester are beating Spurs 1-0 as well. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Please smash a like on the video and subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, you're very welcome on the United Stand. We'll be live after the game with a fan forum. We've got a match reaction where you can do the player ratings yourself, interactive, and live every morning at 10 o'clock. I've got Paul Ince on actually tomorrow morning. It's 10:30 tomorrow actually. Paul Ince is on. Cross to the back post. Alanga's nowhere near it. Second balls, United. Not really doing anything yet. It's Greenwood. We're a little bit second best here at the moment. Right, McTominay, that's a good ball. Into Greenwood, loses it. They're very tenacious, Brentford, aren't they? Good tackle. Right, there's a ball here. That needs to go now, Mason. That's better. Out to Ronaldo. Should have gone first time, really. Into Delo. Cross. Oh, it's a shame. That was good. Hope you're doing well, Mark. Thank you for all the great content. Your legends is always done swiftly. Thank you very much for the super chat there. I just think Mason needs to play it here, and he takes a touch. Ronaldo, this is the extra touch there. Ronaldo needs it a bit quicker. Yeah, I noticed that. Blue kit on the screen. Look, we knew. Not red. I do like this kit. Hopefully it can bring us a bit of luck. I don't know how many times we've actually worn this kit this season. Come on, chat. Tell me some games where we wore this kit. Lovely ball by Bruno. Oh, what a ball it was. And I thought he'd got Ronaldo in. It was delightful. It was just probably a metre too short, but it would have been a worldie of a pass. It was almost superb. Played against Southampton in it, so we drew there, didn't we? Villarreal game as well. Dad says the kit's shocking. I like it. I like the top. I wasn't ever sure about the shorts. Nice layoff by Alanga there. Go on, Scott. Put the pass wide. That's it. Tellez whips it. That's exactly where he's. Don't knock Tellez there. He's put it into the area. So interesting start there. Bruno nearly getting Ronaldo in, and Tellez just putting a cross in, a bit of a warner that, hey, I can do it. Here we go. Higher line now. This is more like the Villa game now. Higher line. We've worked our way up. Look at McTominay, though. He's got to come and get it. That's what Matic did really well. He doesn't know about McTominay. Just doesn't know how to get the ball off the back four, which is a shame because when he gets it, that's a reasonable pass. Just get the game going. Here's Fred. That's better. Move the ball forward. Come on. Scott is already hiding between the two Brentford attackers and not receiving the ball. He really isn't a CDM. Well, he's not, Luke. And I don't want to criticise him. He's not a CDM, but he's being asked to do a CDM's role here today. And if you watch McTominay there, that's what he's got to do. That's what Matic does. You've got to drop in and get the ball. I mean, that's a silly ball. Really silly. But we've got a corner from it. Don't want my holding midfielder to be hitting 50-yard diagonals. I don't want him to do that. I just want him to get it and move it 5 or 10 meters forward and let everybody else do that. Your job as the number 6 is to shield the back four, take the ball off the back four and feed the attackers. You're not there to play quarterback. You're just there to get the game rolling. Why does Scott almost refuse to show for the ball? Says Sean Finnis. I just don't think that's why he's not a holding midfielder, mate. It's not his fault. I'm not, this is why we need a holding midfielder. Fred can't do that role either. Ranić talks the talk, that's all. Tell us he's playing a 4-3-3, but it's clearly 4-2-3-1. Absolutely no change from Ollie. He's playing safe. Ryan, we're definitely not playing a 4-2-3-1. McTominay is very, very visibly. Walanga! Oh, nearly a goal. Corner. Matt McTominay is very visibly the holding midfielder. Joshua says, Greenwood in the team always gets me excited for a United game because he's one of our only players at the moment who takes his chance with a shot, says Joshua Adams. Okay, we've won another corner here. Was caught out Brentford there a little bit. Another corner for Manchester United. Shorty says 7-0 incoming. Phil Jones, thanks for the super chat. 1-1 in the Spurs game, apparently. I prefer this formation. It suits us better. Now, this is a little bit more like the Villa game now. Started to move right high up the pitch. Oh, no, Fred. Now there isn't. I don't want to see this. Now Fred's gone to holding midfielder. McTominay, just be the holding midfielder. I don't want to see interchanging in the midfield three. Tellez. Bruno. See, Brentford are very hard to play through, aren't they? It's a debut for their goalkeeper, yes, Anis. So be nice to get a few testers against him, even if it's a 30-yarder. That's a bit of a weird ball by Lindelof. That goes out for a goal kick. I know Ranić has only just started. However, he needs to be questioned over some of his decisions and comments. Maybe I'm being reactionary. It's always done swiftly. Yeah, I don't mind my wingers. I mean, it's personal choice. I don't mind my wingers interchanging, but I don't really like to see your number 6 swapping with your number 8, because that's where confusion reigns. Stick to your position, especially when you've got a number 6 who doesn't know what he's doing. Just stick to position. Don't start trying clever shit. It's like trying to do it. Doggies. No, it's not. We're not going to say that. Time check, Mark. Well, it's below Manchester United. It's 10, just gone 10 minutes. Bruno, you've got to be more committed on that tackle there. Oh, I know. Yeah, I've seen one, yeah. Robert says Arsenal 04 better than United 08. I mean, Robert, I don't think anyone really wants to talk about Arsenal. Hi, Mark. Just tuned in. Looking forward to the show. Not seen the lineup yet. Would you mind telling me? Thanks to one, says Taylor Hicks. So, United lineup, if you are tuning in a bit late, is De Gea in goal, Delot, Lindelof, Varane, and Telles, McTominay, and Fred, and Bruno, and then Elanga, Greenwood, and Ronaldo. So happy with the team, pretty much. I mean, I would like to have seen Matic play again for the first hour, because he's the only CDM we've got, but I just don't think he can play 2 games in 4 days. So we have to play a player at 6 who can't play there. And I think, we don't need to get angry. McTominay ain't a number 6. Apparently it's a good goal by Spurs. Who scored it? Harry Kane. Oh, Harry Kane. I scored a goal against Leicester. I'm fucking beat Batman. I'll fucking annihilate the Foxes. Nice ball. Headed away by Lindelof. Come on, Fred. Oh, I know I hate a flick when it doesn't work. Bit of a scrappy game. Loving the captain, Bruno, taking charge. Very vocal, says Vish. Well, whoa. Good tackle by Varane. Watch the second ball. This will be 1-0 to Brentford. Great save by David De Gea with his feet. It should have been 1-0. Back post. Somebody head it away. Oh, blocked. Bloody hell. United living dangerously here. Saves. Should be 1-0 down. It's a good tackle by Varane, but Telles is out of position. They get it wide, and it's just a very good save with the feet by David De Gea. Man United and Spurs to lose. Cigars and strippers incoming, says Zane. Isn't that a normal night for you anyway? Love Rashi, but it's nice to have someone coming into the back post that doesn't close his eyes on a header, says Joshua Bowater. So it's nice seeing a captain shouting and commanding on the pitch, says Nick97. Got a draw written all over it, says Adam. Well, I don't know about that. We should be losing. Cross comes in. Isn't Matic and Donny a better and more balanced midfield too than McFred? Whenever I've seen Donny and Matic, they play really well, says Raven. Yeah, it could have been 1-0 there. Very good save by De Gea. What's your favourite cheese, Mark? Says Jamie T. Well, I could buy loads of cheese with that money. Let's see what happens with the corner. I actually like mozzarella. I do like mozzarella. I know it's a bit of a posh. Whoa! God, I thought I was in as well. Corner drops to somebody, not going for the second ball again. He shoots. He misses. I think it deflects. Oh, it's the blocked by Telles. Bloody hell, United living dangerous here. What are we doing, says Malps. Exactly. Hate to say it. I don't think Greenwood track him back, says Eski. Another corner for Brentford here. De Gea punches it. Fred with the worst overhead clearance in the bloody world. Who's on the back post? Bruno. Oh, for fuck's sake. It should have been a goal as well. Bloody hell. Living dangerously here. They should be scoring. And now David De Gea has hurt his knob. Oh, he has. He's hurt his cock. Cross comes in. I don't know what he's done, but he's holding his crown jewels. We've got 2 goalkeepers on the bench, so don't worry about that. You ever get a knob injury in football, don't spray it with deep heat. Any other area of your body, your thigh, your calf, deep heat will work miracles. Never spray it on there. It should be on the front of the can. Not for knob injuries. Oh, McTominay bullied again. Come on, United. This has not been a very good start at all. Brentford are just hungry here. They want it more. We're in real shit. Offside. How have we not conceded, says DK? I know. To me, this shows you the massive difference between having Matic, a proper CDM, and not having a proper CDM. We've just not been able to get control of that midfield. McTominay hiding again. Dude is petrified of the ball. Jersey's too big for him, says Grantos. I feel sorry for him. He's just not holding midfielder. Genuinely, how bloody good is Day? I really think he has a shout for best keeper this year. Back to his best. And yes, Mark, who's talking about McTominay didn't mean was his fault. It's the club for not buying a CDM, says Luke. Thank you. Given the chance, would you kiss David De Gea? No. Blizzy. I've got to answer the question, what's my favourite cheese? I do like mozzarella. At Christmas, I like Wensleydale with a bit of cranberry in it. I like Red Leicester as well. So there's 3 for you. I don't mind a bit of brie. Come on, Greenwood. Just not get... The problem, again, is the defence is okay. The attack is okay, but the midfield's not there. Look at Ronaldo having to drop deep already. New game, same story, says somebody there in the chat. Just not going anywhere with the ball. This is going home. This is going back to De Gea. 100%. Yeah. Nice one, Alanga. Oh, come on. We've got to pick these second balls up. Well done, Ronaldo. Done well. That's good by Ronaldo. And he's been caught. Oh, he's all right. Anyway, across for Manchester United. Let's see what we can do. Tellez is on it. Oh, cleared away. Greenwood, he'll hit that. Bit greedy again. I love Greenwood, but shooting from the edge of the box is only going to work every now and again. Fred's been bodied 3 times so far. How can the club have the audacity to try and spin the rubbish that Donny's too weak to play in our midfield, says Ryan? Well, remember Fred in the first few games of the season? Liveramento bounced him into the stands. What was that winger called for Wolves who put him on his arse as well? Forget the right winger. I can't remember his bloody name. No, it wasn't Traore. It was somebody in the chat will know. It wasn't Neto. It wasn't Johnny. I can't remember. No, Trincao, that was it. Yeah, he was getting bounced all over the place, Fred. I think Donny in the Fred position, I said this against Villa, would work. I'm not saying play him in the McTominay position, but I mean, he might do a better job than McTominay, but I certainly think in the Fred position, he'd be better. But this is the thing. Everyone's going to focus on McTominay because Matic did a better job. But McTominay's not a holding midfielder. But don't forget, Fred was shit against Villa. So we've lost Matic. Fred's still shit. And McTominay can't do the Matic role. And we're wondering why we're not running the midfield. It's like... It's difficult. It's like we're trying to progress with 10.5 men. Guess who the missing half is, says Gabana. You should try some Stinking Bishop cheese, says Melps. I don't like Stilton. We need a McTominay cam of him in training to see what's so special about him, says Chris. I thought you were going to say in his bedroom then. I don't want a McTominay cam. It was Trincao that puts him on his arse, although Podence is good. Gray as well, bodied Fred, says Stark, Basil. So 20 minutes gone here. Again, it's not the attack that's the problem. It's not the defence that's the problem, but the whole team gets judged on a bad performance. And the bad performance is based upon the fact that the midfield is just so redundant. I just don't know how he can't look at that and think, Matic, get your kit off. I don't mean he's looking at Matic going, oh, you're gorgeous. I mean, like, he's looking at the pitch. That midfield's rubbish. Turns round, Matic, get your kit off, and not in that way. Just take your tracksuit off, basically. Yeah, it's the same old problem all the bloody time. We're never going to be. The thing is, we're never going to be surprised. Like, it's not like Fred and McTominay and Bruno are suddenly going to run that midfield, are they? We've been watching them play for a year and a half. It just doesn't work. And I include Bruno in that because he's the number 10 most of the time behind the midfield too. It just doesn't work. And, you know, the sooner Pogba comes back, the bloody better, really, because then at least you can just go, right, Matic play one game, McTominay play the other, and then it's Pogba and Bruno, and it's not bloody Fred and Bruno. Like, the two of them are just so demoralising. MH says my cheese list is like the midfield. And if you look at McTominay's movement and behaviour, you can see that he looks uncomfortable and confused about his positioning. Well, he's going to, Eddie. Welcome to the Members Club, Ben. Sweets for my sweets. Fred's gone down injured. But I didn't know he'd gone injured down here. What's happened to Fred? Oh, he's been headed. He's nearly. Well, we just talked about Fred getting bounced. He's just been bounced again. Right on the back of the head. If that's a head injury, he needs to come off. He needs to come off. He's concussed. Get him off. Assuming we had no injuries, what formation would you employ and which players would you make your team, says Joseph. So, I mean, I can pick an 11 for you, and I'd probably... So there's an injury to Fred. If everyone's fit, my United team would be De Gea, Dalot, Varane, Lindelof, Shaw, Matic for an hour. It has to be, because the only CDM we've got. Pogba, Bruno as the 8s. Right-hand side, I'd do everything in my powers to get Sancho playing well, because I like Greenwood, but Sancho's not greedy, and he will be a creator. Ronaldo, and then on the left-hand side, it's difficult. You know, ideally you'd get Marcus Rashford back on form because you could afford to have Rashford on the left if you've got Sancho creative. Fred's all right. Don't know whether that's good news or not. It's good news that he's not injured, but I'd like him to come off. I'm unsure in the reason why United players so compared the size of the club. It feels like an overachieving Burnley, says Stu. I like Cheddar, says Jamie T. And I'm unsure in the reason. Okay, we've done that one. Having grown up watching Keane and Scholes running our midfield, I never thought I would live to see a day where almost all Premier League teams have better midfielders than us, says NL. And somebody told McTominay we're playing football, not sardines, says Emily Derry. Keep up the good content, Goldbridge, says Vala. Thank you very much. Thanks for those super chats that are coming in. That's better by McTominay. This is like the perfect example of where we are weak. So desperate for a defensive midfielder. Like a stalling engine, we do okay with the ball. Isn't in the midfield, says SK. Nice ball by Fred to Tellez. Go on, there's a run there. Oh, he's not. It's very stuttery United here. We're not creating anything again. Yeah. No, Brentford are doing a job on us here. You can see there, you could draw lines around their system. Their front two drop in, then they've got a 3, then they've got a 5. You know, the ball was on then, McTominay. He's played it quite well. He's got to have a shot, Delo. Oh, best bit of play from United there. McTominay plays a good ball. Delo gets the shot off. And keeper does dive, so that's not bad, you know. It's not a bad shot. Are those NFL lines on the pitch? And what's your favourite fruit? Are you a boring apple pear man? Says Taylor Jones. No, I like blueberries. This is like the perfect. I've done that one. And Mark, would be totally outlandish to call back Garner from loan, says Anthony Johnston. I just don't think he's ready, mate. I just don't think he's ready. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with United Stand. We've had 25 minutes here. It's the positive is it's 0-0. Brentford have had the better chances, but it is 0-0. Bruno, you've got to take a touch there, Bruno. Fucking come on. Not a great game by Bruno so far, to be honest. Good against Villa, but he's been wasteful today. I think he's forcing it. Got to move the ball quicker. When we move the ball quicker, we find the space. This is going back to De Gea again. Yeah, Fred's never winning that header, is he? Genuine question, Mark. Why do United Academy players lack football intelligence? McTominay, Rashford, Greenwood, they all struggle to play a pass, a position, and play for the team. What are we teaching them? Says Andrew O'Brien. What power is Fletcher even holding over Rangnick? Isn't he guaranteed to go upstairs anyway? Says Cormac. And De Gea reminds me of Leno. Brilliant shot stopper, but vision and passing is shocking, says 58 Go. Well, that was a good pass by De Gea, so he's just shut you up. Greenwood is a strike. He's wasted out wide, says Robbo. Even Ronaldo is not what he was at United. Stu, the trouble with this with Ronaldo is Ronaldo's this, Ronaldo's that. He's not. Tell me the chances he's had. Ramito says, honestly, once Ronaldo leaves, I don't think we need to buy a striker. Greenwood is clearly not a winger and could thrive in the striker. Yeah, I'd like to see him given a chance. Welcome to the Members Club, Jamie T and Ash. Thank you very much for joining the Members Club. United's here. We're having a lot of possession. We're just not really creating anything. But as I said, the positive is that it's 0-0 because Brentford really could have scored about 10 minutes ago. They had a couple of good opportunities. Well done, Lindelof. Good ball by McTominay. Come on. Into Bruno. That's got to go wide, Bruno. That's the right ball. Oh, fucking hell, Bruno. You've got to get that right. It's a good bit of play there, and Bruno's weighted the pass wrong. His passing's off tonight, Bruno. Shit. Look, I wouldn't be too downhearted about the performance. There's a lot of teams who've been to Brentford and struggled this season. They're a hard team to play against, but we just got to stay in there. Too narrow here. We're way too narrow. Where's the width? Good ball, McTominay there. Greenwood. Go on then, Langer. Oh, just too good cross by Greenwood. I think it shocked everybody that he crossed it. We do not need Harry Maguire on. Noah, welcome to the Members Club. Thanks for joining. Bruno's passing hasn't been very good so far. I agree. Ash, thanks for the chat. Look at Fletcher and Phelan having a chat. No. Look at him in the bottom of your screen. What are you saying, Darren? What are you saying? Well, I'm seeing McTominay. I'm just seeing McTominay. He's running the game. I agree with you, Darren. That's down to us. Tellez has actually started to look good defensively too. What a run of games can do for the right player. I agree, Dawal. You've got to give them a run of games. You can't just give them 20 minutes. Would love to see Mason at striker. I'd rather he got 30 minutes or so each game as a sub up top. Nick97. This is going to be a launcher again from Brentford with this. He's got the towel out. It's a bit like the old Rory Delap days at Stoke. I'm getting visions of that. Oh, he's gone short with the throw-in. A bit like the old Dallas Cowboys fake on the other night. If you know, you know. Oh, that's better. That's better. Tellez, he needs some help. He's going to have to try and whip a wonder cross in here. No, he's not. He's going to come back. It was good play. Oh, has he won a foul, though? Yeah. Better by Bruno. Which Premier League club midfields would you like to steal? Says Jack Porter. What, better than what we've got? Fucking hell. I mean, I'd take Romo from Southampton as CDM over what we've got because he's actually able to play every week. I'd take him over Matic, who's our best CDM, because what's the point in Matic who can only play an hour a week? Still better than Ollie Ball. I can see progression, says Jack. Mark, I live not too far from Long Eaton. I watch Garner live in the flesh every week. I promise you he's the real deal. Yeah, I know Forest fans love him, Ace. And welcome to the Members Club, Gary Mathers. Cross comes in and corner for Manchester United. Donny's warming up with Matic. Probably just because he's cold. That would have been offside for United anyway. Bruno's going to take the free kick. Manchester United, 107 corners, no goals. I feel that number is going to be haunting us until we do score from a corner. 108 now. Oh my God, what's happened here? We've got a 3v2. Oh, De Gea again. Get up, David. Oh my God, what is going on again? Don't ever criticize David De Gea. Seriously, people talk about his distribution. Fucking hell. How did we get in this situation? I don't even know. All over the shop. Delo ends up with a 2v2. He's onside as well. Exactly. What he just said then, if Henderson was in goal, how many more points would we have dropped? So I don't think you'd make all these saves. They're world class. Ranić has just been standing at the touchline without giving a single order to any player. Conte, Tuchel, Klopp would be losing it by now, says Vikrant. Welcome to the Members Club, Gary Mathis and Noah. And a save by De Gea. So realistically, again, zero service for Ronaldo. Oh, fucking Fred. Desire to get back there is a complete joke. Brentford put their hearts in the line to get back. We have a fast jog, says Clay S. The way this game's going, we'll lose it. Oh, Alanga, that's a terrible first touch there. Ralph, second half, we're running like a newborn calf. Did anyone just say that he saw progression? My head is shaking, says Jenks. I can see Alanga coming off for Rashford. I can see that sub happening. I don't think it's the right sub, but I think, 19-year-old having a bad game is going to come off, isn't he? I'd take Fred off for Donny. Simple as that. It's the most obvious sub. It's been the most obvious sub for the last 2 games. Mark, the reason we were 3v2 is because Greenwood ran crossfield to pressure the other wing, says SK. Referee, how's he not giving a foul there on De Gea? De Gea again, bloody hell. What's the ref doing? Well, there's an offside here anyway, but De Gea was fouled anyway. Tony gets the shot off. It's De Gea again. Fucking hell. This is a foul on De Gea. That would have been a foul on VAR if anything had happened there. Matter of time before we concede here. No control in the game at all, and final ball is shocking to cause any kind of real threat. You do worry about United, don't you, Paul? You do worry about us. I mean, we just do not. We don't deserve top 6, let alone top 4. Brentford have been the better team. Facts of 2005-15. David De Gea single-handedly saving us, his Cowboy Devil. I don't think we finished in the top 4 then. So slow with every time. The midfield is just redundant. Oh, for fuck's sake, Fred. He's got it. Fred for Donny is the most obvious sub in the bloody world. Well, I just tweeted it there. Fred for Donny. It's just got to happen. He's got to change that midfield. I mean, I'd take McTominay off and Fred off and bring Matic and Donny on, but I don't think he'll do that. Bruno's invisible when Ronnie's on the pitch. I don't get it, says Lars. Too soon to give David De Gea man of the match, Sandy. I think it will take a stunning turnaround for David De Gea not to be man of the match, considering we should be 2-0 down. Getting outplayed by Brentford, Newcastle, Wolves. When do we stop talking systems and start talking quality and effort, says Andrew O'Brien. Leave it for McTominay. Go on, drive it, Scott. Go wide to Tellez. Now, where's the cross? He's got to be allowed to put the cross in. It's a good cross. Go on. Oh, lots of time. Wow, Ronaldo's not even in the bloody box. Why is Ronaldo not in the box? We're not going to score from crosses when Ronaldo's not in the box for 2 of them. Oh, that doesn't even make... Oh, Fred, what are you doing? Shooting from 30 yards through a crowd on your right foot on a half volley. Tellez. Shimbone. Lindelof would be better as a CDM, says Grant. David De Gea is the best goalkeeper to save with the feet I've ever seen, says Greg. And De Gea equals Gandalf setting. Thou shall not pass. We just look soft in every one-on-one, no controlled aggression, no we're going in for the 50-50. He's got to change the midfield, Chris. I don't care who's in the midfield. You know, it could be Scholes, bloody Keane and Veron, and I'd still change 2 of the midfielders because they're not playing well. Ralph is just Ollie undercover. He's not, Eddie. That we're still playing like we did before without Rangnick. With Rangnick, because of course we're playing the same way because the players aren't good enough. You can't polish a turd. You can't give Pep Guardiola a Preston midfielder and then let him sell De Bruyne and use him. Like you've got to have the quality to be coached better. Scott gives away too many fouls to be a CDM, says Corbs. Well, where is the midfield here? It's 4 against 4 all the time. Where is the midfield? Good ball by Bruno. Come on. This has got to be a break here. Oh, Greenwoods. Breaks down again. Everybody's really sloppy on the ball today. Even when we get the ball to Greenwood or Elanga, they're losing the ball or they're playing a bad pass. Evening, Mark. Should be a 2-0 down, but David De Saviour, says Harry Hemingway. Playing too narrow for my liking, and midfield is non-existent. Ralph will sub in Fletcher before Donny, says Chiri. Rashford's warming up. David has the most saves in the league, says Kane. Tellez has just gone down again. Did Ralph switch to a single pivot to pressure the board for a midfielder, says Sean Finity. Refresh the stream, guys. I think there's been a problem with the chat because we've just lost 8,000 viewers. Do you know? Yeah, Ryan just said it straight froze for a bit. It just froze apparently. Only if Tony was this good for the United stand, says Cowboy Devil. I mean, if Tellez is coming off here, we're screwed. Because we haven't got a left back. Bruno missing and Fred sloppy as usual. Feel a defeat incoming, says Anthony Jury. Can we start a petition to get Man United's midfield discussed in Parliament? Bring your own booze, says Mike. Yeah, it's interesting because I think that there's another long throw coming in from Brentford here. It is interesting because we are shocking at the moment. And I think we're already starting to get into that phase of can we play badly and win? Because this is shite. Apparently there's a problem with the mic as well. Well, that's just what everyone's saying in the chat. Yeah, I'd get Donny on at half time. Look, Ranick's look. Ranick knows more than we know, really, about football, and or he knows as much. He's a good coach, and he will know, watching this game, what the problem is. Lines are for McFred to know where the midfield is, says Chris Ramirez. Yeah, Ranick was painting them on before the game. McTominay loses the ball but wins a foul. Just it's so hard to watch our midfield week after week after week. It really is. Yeah, no Broder back. Mark, there's a problem with your mic. Look into the chat. People have trouble hearing you. Also, Fred sucks. That's thanks for your great channel. There's not a problem with the mic. Shaheen, thanks for the super chat. Brentford on the attack again. I'm physically sick watching McTominay. Mark, please just ignore the game and watch only him for a minute. Also, if he gets Rashford on, I'll lose it, says Rick James. Might feel sitting silently on the bench in case Ranić notices he's still part of the coaching team, says IQ. We're crying out for a midfielder. Terrifying to think the previous regime loved McFred so much when everyone else can see their shit, says Nathan Brown. Thank you very much. When Brentford break low, how far forward the entire midfielders they should be shielding but are nowhere to be seen. And United might get no, it's a throw-in. Apparently, Greenwood has forgotten how to pass the ball for the last couple of matches. McFred, terrible as always, and needs to stop fouling every minute. McTominay, says Ansel. Martial on for Elanga instead of Rashford, says Jack Brown. The trouble is, if you go with Anthony Martial, it's like, well, does he want to be here? Call me a prat, says Ash. And NL says, I see Rashford and Maguire warming up. I foresee a wrong substitution. Sometimes I wonder if these coaches and managers watch the same game. Look, NL, if we bring Harry Maguire on, what is that about? Like, the problem is not at fucking centre-back, is it? Like, if we bring Harry Maguire on, that would be a waste of a substitution. Ronaldo's playing so bloody deep as well. Go on, Elanga. He's played it on. Cross. No, it's a crap cross. It will go for a corner. You can do your player ratings in the second half, but at the moment, again, look, I don't think Ronaldo's at fault for a bad performance. He's just living in a graveyard shift. It's the same as Cavani last season. It's a joke. Corner. Not a bad corner, but no one wins it. Bruno is getting called out for no reason. He's having to drop back to help the midfield. Same with Ronaldo, says SK. I don't think the midfield's playing well at all. I think, Bruno's obviously got to take his part in that, but another corner. He's given a goal kick. Have you noticed that whenever we pass back to De Gea, nobody in the midfield shows for the ball, so he has to go long and then we lose the ball, says Rory. Yep, they're cowards. I just give up. It's like watching a loving relative getting on well. It gets worse week after week. I honestly don't know where United can go. Shocking, says David Miller. Whether Martial wants to go or not doesn't matter if we're making the same excuse for Pogba. Good point, NYYK. Might be for Tellez with the low left, Lindelof right. Might be for Tellez with the low left, Lindelof right. Yeah, good point, Robert. Yeah. Mark, how many bunny hops a match does McTominay do, says Nate H. And this team, he does more bunny hops than a BMX. This team is so bad, I'm actually getting bored of watching them, says Sean Turner. I know we go on about it, but these two in the midfield are shocking. They are. We're a terrible team to watch, Sean. We'll be doing our favourite packets of crisps in the second half. I mean, really, really bad. Let's rank the Star Wars films. Deitch about to win the league with 20 games in hand, says Zephyr. And this team is, I've done that. I've got to say, I predicted this would be a goal fest. I predicted 3-2. I'm going to keep my gob shut in future about score predictions. Absolutely terrible, really. I've got my pajamas on. I'm half ready as it is. Get me a pajama top and a pillow. I'm just going to sit here like this. Wake me up when it ends. I'm dribbling. I'm the only one dribbling because our team ain't dribbling. Bloody shite. Absolutely embarrassing. But you know what? If you know anything about football, it's the midfield. It's the midfield. You criticise attackers when they're missing chances. They're not getting any chances. You criticise the defence when they're making mistakes that cost you goals. They're not making the mistakes. It's runners from the midfield and it's losing the midfield. It's the same every week. We lose the midfield battle and the game's boring. It's the same every week. Our midfield are cowards, says Emil. They don't show for the ball because they are afraid. No confidence in the middle. And we play worse football than some teams in the bottom half of the table. Not De Gea would be much lower the points tally, says Sagnet. Well, the whistle goes and McTominay and Fred sprint to the touchline so they can polish Ranić's shoes. Look at me, I've got you an apple as well. Fucking shit, lads. Again. You are crap. I said you are crap. All of you. The whole midfield three have been crap. Bruno, Fred and McTominay. But we know Bruno can be a match winner. So you keep him on. You bring Matic and Donny on. You're a different team in the second half and you have a go. But he won't do it. He won't do it. Woody, thanks for the super chat. He ain't going to make any changes at half time, is he? McTominay actually sprinted to be first one down the tunnel. I'm here, Ralph. I'm here. Yeah, we fucking know. You're shite, mate. Absolutely shite. But I don't really blame McTominay. He's not a holding midfielder. We predicted this. Goldbridge shorts are more entertaining than this, says Lee. My shorts are good. But look, we said this with this formation. Ranić said yesterday in his press conference, we're changing the formation. We're going for a 4-3-3 with one holding midfielder and two number 8s. And what did we say? That's interesting because you don't have a holding midfielder. You've got Nemanja Matic who can only play for an hour a week. So who are you going to play as holding midfielder? Is it going to be Fred Trampoline Toes or is it going to be McTominay Hide and Seek? I mean, and that basically is. Yeah, I think we're all hoping for a miracle. Scott McTominay as a number 6 hides. The centre-backs get it and he hides. Fred, give it to me. They bounce it and they get it back in the face because it's bounced off his balloon feet. We don't have a holding midfielder. And then we wonder why we're watching that shit. Cristiano Ronaldo must be smiling and in his head crying. He's like, what the fuck have I done? What have I done? I used to have a goals to game ratio of 1. I haven't even got a goals to month ratio of 1. It's absolutely unbelievable. What a bad move this has been for Cristiano Ronaldo. A dream move because he's coming back to Manchester United, the club that he loves. But as an actual footballing move, he may as well have fucking retired. It's a joke. Look, people will say Ronaldo was crap today because they don't understand football. What do you want him to do? Do you want him to get his balls out and start juggling? I mean, not those balls. I mean, like, maybe he's got a couple of tennis balls in his pocket. At the end of the day, he may as well be doing his Tesco shop on his iPad. He's got nothing to do. Nothing to do. Alanga and Green would have been a bit disappointing, to be honest with you. Bruno's been disappointing. Fred is crap. I'm not letting him off. McTominay's got a bloody excuse. He's not a CDM. You're asking Scott McTominay to play as a CDM. We already know McTominay's best position. On the edge of the box, he's got a big shot on him. Scooby-Doo. He's got a good shot on him on the edge of the box. Fred is crap. He's just crap. Like, how is he still on the pitch? He was rubbish against Villa. He cost us 2 goals against Villa, and he's playing again. Crap. Absolutely crap. How bad are Brazil? How is he starting for Brazil? Somebody write an article. I want to know. How is he starting for Brazil? Oh, it's because he plays in a more advanced role. I'd rather him go back to play next to bloody McTominay. He's crap as a fucking advanced midfielder. He's crap as an 8. He's rubbish. He's absolutely rubbish. How does he play for Brazil? Fred's the worst player on the pitch, actually, because he's playing in his position. McTominay's excuse is he's not a CDM. I feel sorry for him. He's not a CDM. Fred's crap. Absolutely rubbish. McTominay and Fred need to come off for Matic and Donny. Matic can play 45 minutes. If he can be on the bench, he can play 45 minutes, mate. Donny for Fred. That leaves you with one other sub later on in the game. Maybe Martial for Alanga, something like that. But he won't do that. He'll probably blink bloody... Harry to the rescue. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Harry Maguire in the Chamber of Shit. He'll bring Harry Maguire on. He'll take Tellez off. He'll take Tellez off, put Delot at left back, put Lindelof at right back, and Harry, give me the captain's armband, Bruno. Piss off. Yeah, I'm not happy with that half at all. David De Gea is the positive. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Again, I know his distribution can be a bit off at times, but are you really going to talk about that when he's unbelievable goalkeeper, best goalkeeper in the Premier League this season? He's just been so good. But that's not something to write home about. We spoke about this 7 years ago. He was doing this 7 years ago. He was man of the match all the bloody time. And everybody respected him. Everyone was grateful of him. But when the Manchester United bloody goalkeeper is winning Player of the Year, there's a problem. There's a problem. And there is a problem at Manchester United. We're playing Brentford. Look, Brentford beat Arsenal. Brentford drew with Liverpool. Oh, did they? Are Brentford top of the league? No, they're fucking not. Are they mid-table? No. Where are Brentford? Down in the bottom half of the bloody table. Like Norwich and Newcastle, who played us off the park as well. We're Manchester United. I'm fed up of being bored, and I'm fed up of being embarrassed. Like, we're so bad. What does Richard Arnold, Ed Woodward, John Murtaugh do when Man United play? Is that the night where they say to the other half, let's go to the cinema, let book a table at Café Rouge? It's on me. We'll do it on expenses because we'll have the radio on. I'll turn the volume down and I'll pretend it's work. Like, do they actually watch the game? Are they sat at home going, oh, I tell you what, 0-0. It could have been 4-0 to us. I don't understand how anybody who cares about this football club, who's on the board, would watch that and go, yeah, wait till the midfield. Wait. Don't solve the midfield problem till the summer. We'll be fine. We're going to finish in the mid-table. We're terrible. Talking about De Gea's distribution, Mark, what do you think about distribution for chewable tobacco in Manchester, says Jazz? I fucking don't know, mate. Hi, Mark. I guess this is the standard. If it is, then it's had how much we've dropped. We ain't finishing in the top 4, Mohammed. I've not seen anything to suggest that Manchester United are going to finish in the top 4. Jameson says, I already see Maguire coming on, playing awfully, and then scoring the winner in the 90th minute and shushing the haters, says Jameson. And Harry Maguire and the prisoner of De Gea. Honestly thought Ralph is going to fail if they don't buy him a defensive midfielder in this bloody window. It's disgrace. Jacob, really, the only thing I can criticise Rangnick for is his midfield team selection. But in all honesty, there's no holding midfielder anyway. So you can who's going to play midfield, holding midfield? The only one who's going to play holding midfield is Matic. It's the only one we've got. Bring back Jemba and Kleberson. McFred are brutal. Can't get why Donny on bench. Rangnick sponsored by Specsavers, says DJ. And also, we have controlled possession. Well, if only we could create more chances, then we can say it's been a good game. Midfield chance creation lacking, says Dane. Oh, I agree. We've had plenty of the ball. Just don't know what to bloody do with it. It's a shambles. It's really, 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 really bad. And unfortunately, there's a reality bite for United fans, which I've accepted. I said it after the Villa Cup game. Or maybe it was the Wolves game. I said it in the match reaction. I said, it's the first time where I've actually just realised we're crap. You know, instead of getting angry and, oh, God, can't believe it. We're just crap. Like, you're a hypocrite, actually, if you say, oh, what the bloody hell's going on? I've realised McTominay and Fred are not very good. So what are we waiting for? A miracle? They're not very good. Why should we be surprised that we've lost another midfield battle to Brentford? They're not very good. They're just not very good. And if you've got a midfield that's not very good, you're going to struggle. You can't if you've not got Anthony says, Jerry, Anthony Jerry says, how are we this bad? Well, it's this simple. It's this simple, Anthony. If you haven't got a midfield, you can't supply your attack. We could have a front three of Neymar, Ronaldo, and Messi, and we'd still be drawing this game. Because if they don't get the ball in good positions, how are they going to show their quality? Defense has been okay. Midfield is just crap. We're not good enough on the ball. We panic when pressed. We need to be able to pass around them, but passing is so bad. Ricky is right, says Twiz. Marky De Gea could have saved the bloody Titanic, but him saving United is like trying to end the zombie apocalypse. It's never going to happen, says Trey. And I may fall asleep in the second half, Mark. Wake me up if we score, please. Oh, Malps, I will, mate. I really don't think it's just the middle. Everyone is misplacing passes. Nobody is making the runs. No triangles. Why are we not pressing, says Kane. Manchild says, all that possession, nothing to show for it. We can't break teams down and we can't create. You can't finish your dinner if you don't have a chef, says Manchild. And we talk about Ronaldo, but there's also 4-time Champions League winner Varane. No doubt he has nothing but regrets about his move. But yeah, Ayesh, again, another player who's not doing anything wrong, but is infected by this shit. Fred's pull retention rate must be near 0%, says B. Yakov. Hacker Man says, Donny used to play 6 at Ajax, Marks. I'd say rotate them 2 in that holding midfield position and play Lingard and Bruno for all I give a damn. McTominay hasn't been good, but hasn't been the absolute worst. If we bring on Donny for Fred and McTominay stays deeper, it might work, says Harrison White. Yeah, just get one of them on. That'd be a start. Kleberson, Anderson, Fred. No more Brazilian midfielders. Bye for the future, says Dewan. And have you ever noticed Scott is never on the winning team in training and it's now coming out from Germany? Zakaria is unlikely this month, says the real G. Mark, have you noticed when Matic doesn't play, Bruno has to drop deep to get the ball from the centre-backs, says Ryan. We called this. If Matic doesn't play today, I don't think we get hold of the midfield, and we didn't. I'm going to quote Benzema on this one. Don't pass it to Fred. I swear he's playing against us, says Nillis. And there is a major lack of football intelligence. We need to change the whole system. All players have lost their mojo, says we need a good fit football philosophy, get rid of crappy players and start the rebuild. Well, you know what? I think the Fred transfer needs to be looked into. Did Shakhtar Donetsk just get a player from Stoke on the cheap, and then they needed to sell him and went, oh no, let's pretend his name's not Fred Johnson. It's just Fred, and he's Brazilian. Some twat will pay 50 million for him. He's so bad. He's so bad. I don't know how. I've got no expectations for Brazil in the World Cup. If he's a starter for Brazil, and don't give me the crap, he plays well for Brazil. So what's he doing for United? Purposely playing badly? He's just so bad. There's no playmaker in the team, no movement, says Nee. And all these teams seem to run as we look so average, says Ricky D. Bring on Phil Jones, says JP Smith. And McTominay's hiding between Brentford players. Fred is awful with the passing, says Aditya. I thought the game would soothe my COVID, but my headache is getting worse, says Mikkel. Get well soon, Mikkel. Look, we've analysed McTominay as a holding midfielder for the last year, and he has this habit. There's loads of clips of it. There's loads of analysis of it. He's not very good at taking the ball off the back four. He moves away from it. He'll go behind the striker so the passing lane's on. Whether that's fear, inability, naivety, whatever, he's always been like that. You've also got Fred. If you pass the ball to him, it could bounce anywhere because his first touch is bad. That is what Manchester United are trying to build a team upon. A midfielder who hides and a midfielder who's got a first touch like a concrete wall. It's never going to work. And that's what we've got. That's what the board have said you've got to work with. Should never have sold Herrera, says Ivan. Well, that was on the board. Are our players that illiterate and bad that they can't properly understand the basics of pressing? Please, Mark, explain to me, says Soham. Look, a lot of people will say it's on Ranić, but that midfield needs a peacock, says My Big Melons. Should never have sold Ranić. Yeah, look, people will say it's on Ranić, but you can't polish a turd. Give, as I said in the first half, give Pep Guardiola Preston's midfield around his first team, and they wouldn't play much better because they're Preston midfielders. I think people think that McTominay and Fred and everybody else are going to suddenly play like prime RB Leipzig. They're not. If they're not good enough, they're not good enough. They have limitations, and that is their ability. Mark, it's £25 for adult dental check in Manchester. Here is £25, says Jazz. Thank you, mate. I don't know what that's all about. To be fair, this Brazil's worst team in almost 100 years, says Butterpants. And I have office at 7 a.m. It's 2:30 a.m. Should I just stop watching right now, says Suyash. And you've already said it before, we are not going anywhere until management board is changed. We cannot make progress, says Idrissa. Ronaldo would have a brace for Brentford. Fred can't do a forward pass or run and gets bullied off the ball. Donny would be better, says Capil. And look, he's done it before. He's taken Fred off at half time. There's no excuse not to. He was crap against Villa. He cost us goals in the second half. He's got to come off, but I don't think he'll do it. Look at what Arteta's doing at Arsenal. Get rid of the deadwood and start building some pressing system with high energy that works, says Mo. I look forward to United games. Starting to wonder how boring my life really is, says David. And Jesus, you've got to just appreciate how awful Fred is in that midfield. He wouldn't get into that Brentford midfield on his best day, says Bruce. Is Rangnick doing all his coaching in German, says Daryl Street. He is not a starter for Brazil, apparently. I heard he was. Thanks, everyone, for watching, by the way. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Smash a like on the video. You will be able to do your player ratings in the second half of the match reaction. So you mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average, and we'll take it from there. That will be on straight after the game when we do our match reaction. Leicester and Tottenham are 1-1. So that would be a decentish result for Manchester United. I think they've got about 15 minutes to go. But you know what? Why are we looking at other results? Why are we going, oh, yeah, Leeds beat West Ham. Spurs are drawing with bloody Leicester. We're not good enough. We don't deserve it. Thoughts on Pratt, says Brody. What? Fred? Crap. When is United stand NFTs dropping, Mark, says Jazz? I'd have to understand what they are first. Missing Ollie already. Cheers from Norway, says Toe. It's not that bad. And need Maguire on to carry the ball forward and play incisive passes, says Lee. And Fred makes Anderson look like a Brazilian Paul Scholes, says Joshua Bowater. Maguire's not coming on because he's still got his tracksuit on. Matic is not coming on because he's still got his tracksuit on. I don't think he's made any changes at half time. Doesn't look like there's any subs. Absolutely ridiculous, that is. Absolutely frigging ridiculous. I despair. Hi, Mark. Brentford is playing like a bunch of boulders running around, but we are not quick and visionary enough to pass. Midfield is crap again, says United Voice. Serious question. Who's got a better first touch, Fred or Lukaku, says Plop. Here's Greenwood into Ronaldo. I don't like Ronaldo today. I don't like his positioning at all. He's never in the box. At the start of the season, we thought we could fight for the title. But right now, we're looking like a Conference League team, says Kano. Corner here. We're currently on 30 seconds, 45 and 30. Hi, Mark. Brentford have done that. United just won the league in my football manager with Valverde as the manager, says Im. Mark, I'm not due to take my high blood pressure medication for an hour, but decide to take it now, says Portuguese Power. Serious question. Who's got a better first touch? We've done that one as well. Right, let's settle in for the second half. You deserve to go on holiday until there's a new midfielder, says William Parker. Cavani for Greenwood, Donny for Fred, Phil Jones for Tellez, Matic for Delo, says If. Well, Cavani's not on the bench, so we can't bring him on. It's Martial and Rashford. I think if you know what, one thing I would say, if we can scam a goal, Maybe Brentford won't score and we'll win 1-0. They must have transplanted Maguire's head onto Fred's fleet. His first touch is like a sledgehammer, says Russian Nightmare. Oh, Ronaldo heads it onto the bar, though. Oh, there you go. There you go. 2-1 to Leicester as well. Ronaldo isn't playing well today, says Mahir. He's getting no service, mate. You need to understand the game. He would have been offside as well, Ronaldo. He would have been offside there. How do we spend 40 million on Ahmad and Palestri, not play them, says K-Flow. How do you spend 50 million on Fred? How do you spend 40 million on Donny? Look at Brentford again. This is fantastic. He's just got to wait the pass. Lovely weighted pass as well. Brilliant back post. Shoots at De Gea. Bloody great break by Brentford again. They're so good on the break. Goldbridge in. Beth's assistant, says Elijah. And Mark, check the sliders. Maybe that's United are so poor, says Vebath. Ralph is all hype. All I hear is excuses from him. We're not pressing. We are containing. It amazes me that people want him to get the job. He ain't getting the job. United channel, he ain't getting the job. I spoke to somebody a couple of weeks ago and they told me he's not getting the job because to get the job, he would have had to do, in their words, they don't want to give it to Ranić anyway because they don't want to make the mistake of giving it to an interim again. But for him to even be considered for it, he would have to do what Ollie did and more. Well, he's already not done what Ollie did when he came in because Ollie went on that ridiculous run, didn't he? So good run by McTominay there. Carried it forward well. That's why McTominay's not a holding midfielder, though, as well. Like, a holding midfielder can't carry the ball forward like that because if he gives that pass away and he's out of position by 40 yards, he's a box-to-box player, McTominay. Will United stand picks be coming back, says Triggered Soul? Well, it might be. It might be. Watch this space. Mark, I'm glad to say that I've stopped watching United play and I'm feeling mentally better. So you're just watching a watch-along, Harikesh. Thank you. Good thing about McTominay didn't cost much, right, says SK. McTominay's pushing forward too much. He's out of position. He's just not a holding midfielder because he wants to drive forward with the ball, which is to his credit. But that's not the job of a CDM. I can't believe Fred's still on. Better start by United second half, though. Look, it is half time. Game of 2 halves, second half FC. Still surprised me that we signed Sancho, Varane, and Ronaldo, but still still a decade behind City and Liverpool. How the mighty have fallen, says Eddie. I personally think we're in a worse position we've ever been. I think, we're almost at where we were under Moyes. Like, I know the squad's a lot better. Here's Ronaldo. Oh, Winter corner. I know the squad's better, but the performances on the pitch are as bad as they were under Moyes. United are top of the league for saves and penalty saves. Tells you all you need to know. De Gea, my keeper, we'd be in the lower half without him. Is that actually true, Sean? Because somebody said that in the first half. It's just better to watch along than see United play, says Sel. Bloody hell. Yeah, that's just Drotis has confirmed it to me. De Gea's top of the league for saves this season. Tellez with the corner. Was a good corner, but we don't score from it. Slap our badge on another team and watch us win, says William Parker. We go back to De Gea way too much as well. Go on, Greenwood. Have a pass. Have a pass. Bruno. Back to Greenwood. Lovely play. He can't. He's cross. I don't think Greenwood's a very good crosser of the ball. And why should he be? He's a bloody striker, isn't he? United Stand Challenge is falling apart because they're investing all their revenue in the United Stand FC. Just ban some up. We need Donny for the 100th minute time, says Paolo. Fred loses it again. I'd say I'd probably give McTominay a 6 because I think he's trying hard and he's just being played out of position. But, you know, some people will give him a 5. But Fred, I give him a fucking 3. If Rangnick wins Champions League, might get a Di Matteo 2.0 to do it. How are we going to win a Champions League with this midfield, mate? That's the thing. Dreams can come true. But you've got to have a team that's capable of winning a midfield battle, and it's not. How's Alanga doing, Mark? Says Cormac. Very, very quiet, actually. Very quiet. Fantasy, but if you were offered the Man United job, would you take it? Oh, of course, we all would. Mark, can you call my wife Charlotte a Pratt? Says JD1. Oh, Charlotte, I sort of did there. Sorry about that. I tell you what, talking about dreams come true, there's a female artist called Gabrielle, not the one who plays for Arsenal. She used to wear an eye patch and she used to sing, "Dreams can come true. Look at me, babe, I'm with you." I'd rather have her in the midfield at the moment. At least she'd motivate us a bit. Technically, Partey will not miss a single game in the league for Arsenal. Love the shithousery. Gary Neville in the mud, says Zephyr. Yeah, this is Manchester United. It's got nothing to do with Arsenal. I don't like Ronaldo's performance today at all. We put 2 crosses in a row in the first half and he wasn't in the box. He's drifting all over the place. He's a number 9. Look, here he is again. Look, he's behind Alanga by 10 yards. It's just pure frustration. I've seen Harry Kane do this for England. They get frustrated because nothing's going on. So they start coming deep. Why? You know, his passing's been abysmal as well. Just tried to beat De Gea from their own half there. You're having a bloody laugh, mate. Who are you? What's your name? Bloody, that's disrespect. Trying to beat bloody David De Gea from his own half. Who does he think he is? David Beckham? He's a Pratt. The entire front 6 are terrible, says Alan Burns. Here's McTominay. Alanga. You know what, Fred, I'm sorry to say, I'm in that place now where Fred just irritates the shit out of me. Oh, what a ball by Fred! Oh, meme it! Alanga scores. Delightful ball by Fred in the mud. All the Fred haters, including myself, in the mud. Alanga scores from a delightful ball by Fred. Get in! Manchester United 1-0. We desperately need these 3 points. You couldn't have written it. Fred's played absolutely shit. We've been querying his passport, and he pulls a pass out of nothing, and Alanga scores. Get in, Alanga. What a delightful player to score the goal as well. But he's onside. He's miles onside. It's just a lovely ball by Fred and Alanga. What does he do with this then? Does he control it? Yeah, he controls it and heads it home. Oh, delightful. Absolutely brilliant. Good ball by Fred, but the skill by Alanga is magnificent. Controls it with his right foot and kills the ball and then heads it home. Fantastic, son. Fantastic goal. Woo! Get in. Get in. We need the 3 points. We need the 3 points. There's a good side and a bad side to that thing. Fred will now stay on for the whole fucking game. He's been, I tell you what, it's the same as the game against Villa. He got an assist against Villa. But, you know, where do you draw the line? You've got an assist, but you have played crap. If you win the game, you take the win. I think if Man United win my United Stand membership should become a reality. Years of quality content regardless. Subscribe since 200k, says Triggered Salt. Thank you very much. And come on, Alanga. Can't wait to see what the future holds for him, says Raza. This is why Fred starts for Brazil, says Rue. I would knock Fred's score out of 10 up to 4 now. I still think he's been absolutely shit, but it was a good assist. It was. I'm never going to be that sort of person who watches football and goes, "Oh, somebody got a goal or an assist. They must be bloody brilliant." He's been crap, but it was a good ball. Oh, McTominay, good play by McTominay. They're both at it now. He's like, "Ooh, Fred's playing well. I'm playing well." Pass to Fred. Come on, lads. Same sort of cross before, says SK. They obviously haven't watched McTominay because they stood off him there, and he will. You know, I think that's what McTominay's good at. He's good at shooting from distance. He never is on the winning team in training, is he? That dropped into my head at half time. Someone said when they have the pictures, McTominay's never in the winning team. Look, this is why McTominay shouldn't be playing CDM, because he's the one thing he's good at is driving forward and shooting. He's a bit like a Scottish Lampard. I'm going to get clipped for that. He's an Aldi Lampard. We've got to go and get the second goal now. Breathe confidence. What a ball that is, but Delay will get there. Go back to the hair. Go back to the hair. We should have gone back to De Gea there. The safer ball was De Gea. At least nobody on the bench is smiling like before. Ralph has given a mess to sort out. Shout out to Sean Hennigan, says Sean O'Sullivan. Fred proving his world class once again, says Connor Burke. I think Fred is close to or does have more assists than all of our wingers this season, says CB. The only thing Fred is good at is actually crossing. He's the best crosser we have, maybe the only decent one, says Jameson. Maybe put him on the left wing. An ongoing pandemic, Fred becoming a 5-second Perlo. What's even happening anymore, says Butterpants. Bring on Matic and Donny to tighten up that midfield. Can't make the same mistake as last week, says Nick. Well, we've probably got 10 minutes until I'd be thinking about shoring things up. Next 10 minutes is about trying to get the second goal, and then last 20. I mean, look, again, I'm fed up with the midfield runners again. They're always running at us. Good. Well done, Lindelof, but he's got time. De Gea will catch that. Nice and still. They're still creating chances. Liam says that Delo's been good tonight. I think the back four's been okay. I don't think the back four's done anything wrong. I think, most of the problems have been from midfield runners again. Looks like Spurs are going to lose as well. That's a good result. Free from Fred's on fire. Your defense is terrified. Fred is on fire. That's 2 assists in a row for Fred, isn't it? He got assist against Villa. I said it half time though, didn't I? Is this game turning into the one where you just scrape a 1-0 now? Now our lack of CDMs will show. Love your marks, as Scott Derbyshire. Half an hour to go. More and more. I'd love to get the second goal because I don't think Brentford will score 2. Welcome to the Members Club, Triggered Salt. Right, said Fred, says Dewan. Ronaldo. Struggled tonight, Ronaldo, to be fair. I think he's become too... he's got Harry Kane vibes, Ronaldo. It's that frustration. Oh, my God. Oh, good. Lucky. Yeah, he's got Harry Kane vibes of frustration, dropping deep to come and get the ball. It's not what you want to see from your number 9. I want to see him just as the pinpoint of the attack, really. And he's becoming too deep for me. I think Alanga's been quiet, but the way he's took the goal, you don't worry about that, do you? Maybe Ronaldo is carrying a bit of an injury. I mean, look, you could take Ronaldo off in this game. Lovely ball by Ronaldo. You've got to score here, Bruno. You've got to score. Goal! Is he offside? I think he might be offside. What a goal. McTominay to Ronaldo to Bruno to Greenwood. It's a great goal if it's a goal, but I've got a big concern that pass might have gone forward to Greenwood. We'll have to check it back. That angle don't look right to me. I'm not going to celebrate it yet. It could be game. Well, I'm not going to say game over again either. It's a fantastic goal by Manchester United. McTominay into Ronaldo to Bruno. Lovely ball into Greenwood. But I just want to check it back. There doesn't seem to be many people saying it's offside. Ocean says it's definitely on. Good ball by McTominay. Lovely body by Bruno. By Ronaldo to Bruno. It's one of them. It's one of them. I think it looks offside. I thought it looked offside. I think it goes forward. The pass goes forward, and I think Greenwood's ahead of the ball when he passes it. But VAR, we need that to be on because it was a great goal. Really good goal. I personally think if that's offside, Bruno should have fucking finished it. It's onside. Back of the net. Definitely goal. And it was never in doubt. Super goal, that. Super goal. Oh, this is why I hate VAR. You don't get to celebrate the goals sometimes that are marginal. I think you actually should just celebrate them, and then you look a twat when it gets called off. But much better from United second half. You've got to give Ranić credit because he's not made any subs, and the same players have been much better second half. Oh, nearly a great ball from Greenwood into Ronaldo. It would have been a brilliant one long too. Here's Tellez. Does he win a corner there? No, goal kick. Papering of the craps again. Alanga superstar says Yusha. And this is why McSauce starts for United, says Rue. Rashford shoots. That's right at the keeper, says Kane. Might be premature, but I'm optimistic for the win. Maybe I've lost my mind, says Triggered Salt. We just had to win tonight. And we've been here before, Mark. Don't forget 2-0, says Malps. Well, you know what? It's ready-made, this. Been here before. Does he shore up the midfield? Bringing Maguire on. You don't bring Maguire on. You don't bring Maguire on. What's he fucking on about? It's Bruno again. They might bring Maguire on if it's 3-0. Spurs have equalised, apparently. Unless they're going to bring Tellez off. Tellez might be carrying an injury. I'm not going to be saying that we've won this game because I did that against Villa and I'm not in charge of the team. And as we know, 2-0 is a very dangerous score in football. And it's a very dangerous score in football when you're away from home. So I hate 2-0 because if they get one back, there's plenty of time. 3-2 to Spurs, apparently. It is 3-2 to Spurs. McFred or an Aldi midfield partnership, they're always there, but when you actually look, it's full of crap, says Dan. Don't knock Aldi, they're all right. Maguire, our new CDM, says Scott Derbyshire. Mark, I fell asleep the first half, so I don't know how McSauce played, but he's been very good second half. He has Sue, actually, he has been decent second half. He has been decent second half. I'd give him that. A lot of people saying Spurs won. I'm just going to double check because you never know with the chat. Yeah, they did. Spurs did win it. Doherty 90 plus 5. Oh no. That's for 2. 90 plus 5. Draw. This will make you laugh from the BBC. Score updates. How are they 2-0 in front? that's how United get treated now by journalists. How are Manchester United 2-0 in front? Well, we are. Shut up and sit down. It is 3-0 to Spurs, 3-2 to Spurs. They've just not updated it. It is 3-2 to Spurs. So they equalised in 5 minutes of added time, and then they won it in 7 minutes of added time. You know what? That's worrying, isn't it? Because it's that sort of momentum that can really change the mentality of a team. Maguire's coming on for Ronaldo. I have one dream, and it's slabhead bullying opposition defenders, says Jameson. Bloody hell. So Spurs were losing 5 minutes into stoppage time and won. Unbelievable. That'll hurt Arsenal fans as well. Remember, they've got 2 games in hand on us as well. Spurs. Here's Bruno. Well, we've just this is the importance of winning today. So important. So glad Rashford and Maguire are gone. They weren't good enough at this level. I always said I knew I was right, says Luke. They'll be back. They'll be back. Right, we're hitting exactly the point. Harry Maguire's warming up, says Triggered Top. I don't understand why you're bringing Harry Maguire on to go 5 at the back. He's bringing them both on. Oh, for fuck's sake. Maguire and Rashford coming on. Fucking favourites FC. Why? Why? You know, nothing. Look, maybe it's the kick up the arse they need, but I don't get that. That's just that is what's wrong with this football club, because those 2 players, they're starting games again soon. They ain't been dropped. They've not been kicked out the team. This is a fast track. Get them back in. Neither of them are a bloody midfielder. I hope that we concede 2 or 3 goals so we can blame Harry and never play him again, says James and Greg. Well, don't go that far. Leicester have bottled it. Leicester having a right bottling season, aren't they? Yeah, we'll go for about. We will go to about 5, and he'll put Rashford up front, won't he? I hope this will end the Brendan Rodgers to United talk. I think that's ended before, Shan. Here he is, Harry Maguire in the chamber of shit. I hope, to be fair, I hope Rashford has a good game. Greenwood for Rashford. So Ronaldo's off for Maguire. Doesn't look particularly happy. Gave Ranić a bit of a shoulder barge then, didn't he? Fucking hell, he did. He sort of played that back. He sort of walked into him and gave him a bit of the shoulder. Not happy. He's not happy. Well, he's definitely not happy. Drutty's telling me he didn't shoulder bulge him that hard. He definitely gave him a bit. He definitely did. Why the hell is Maguire coming on for Ronaldo? Why is Maguire coming on at all? I don't know. I don't agree with this substitution at all. I don't mind Rashford because I think, you know, Rashford, I like Rashford. I think he's just playing very badly at the moment. But I don't agree with fast tracking Harry Maguire back into the team. The formation will be a 5-2-3 basically now. Bruno will be the head of that. But ultimately, it's a fast track back to what we knew before. We're just fast tracking back to getting Rashford and Maguire back into the team. It was always going to happen. You know, last night when that article came out that Rangnick wants to get rid of Maguire and Wan-Bissaka and Shaw, it's horseshit. It's absolute horseshit. Luke Shaw would have started tonight. Wan-Bissaka might have started tonight. And Maguire will be back in that team in no time. Absolutely no time. So Bruno kept the armband. I don't think he will keep it, though. Toga for long. Mark, is Maguire wearing the captain's armband? No, Jameson, he's not. And Bruno's kept the armband, says Joshua. I wouldn't read too much into that. Well, if Rashford and Maguire can't come on when we're 2-0 up against Brentford and coasting, having been dropped, and perform, Ronaldo is fuming about being taken off. Absolutely fuming. He's just said, Ronaldo saying, why take me off? I agree with it. I agree with Ronaldo being pissed off. Well, I just put it on Twitter there. You work your arse off for 70 minutes against a team that's playing very, very compact and deep. They're now going to go for it. There's going to be space on the attack, and you take me off so Rashford can fucking run into space. Like, why take me off? You know. Ronaldo have Maguire the armband to give to Bruno, says William Parker. Ronaldo wasn't the captain. Bruno's always been the captain, William. You know what I like? Harry on the pitch with Bruno captain. Instructions have come from Harry to Bruno, says Niall. Looking at the substitution, nothing have changed in the United dugout because it's like watching Ollie's in disguise, says Econ. Hi, Mark. I wouldn't be happy either. Imagine getting subbed off for Harry Slabhead Maguire. That's almost like spitting in your face, says Akil. Look, I don't like to see Ronaldo like that because it's just very visibly shows you that there is a problem. But I do feel that second half we've deserved this result. And I do think that we were well overdue 3 points. And that's basically what we've got to look at as the positive. We need these 3 points tonight. Ralph might be the worst Man United manager when it comes to subs, even worse than Ollie. Brentford are terrible at shooting, aren't they? And guess what? Donny will play again like 5 minutes, but we want him to stay, says Ansel. Look, I've resolved the Donny van der Beek thing. Please let him go. Like, Pogba's back soon, and you still don't use him. You've got to let him go. I'd tell you what, I wouldn't have gone to a back five as well. Why not just keep a back four and put an extra midfielder in? Like, back five. Why are we going to a back five? But we have to win. And if we win, back five is right. I personally would have gone to a diamond in midfield. He obviously thinks a back five is the way to go. I'd be very surprised if we conceded 2 goals. with a back five. I bet Ronaldo never thought in his glorious career he'd be subbed off for a leaking Kenmore out in an old garage, says Ice Mooney. Ralph Martin, okay. Look, let's get the win. Bruno to Rashford, that's the pass. And he scores to make it 3-0. Rashford, bit of confidence, good to see that. Bruno with the assist. Ralph Rangnick's talking to Ronaldo. He's not happy. Well, the celebration is not about Rashford. It's about Ronaldo there. I did want to see Rashford running to the crowd a little bit. Good to see Rashford. Good for his confidence. Bruno with the assist again. 3-0 to Manchester United. McTominay driving from the midfield again. He's been very good second half, McTominay. Bruno's been superb second half. So is that 2 assists for Bruno? But Bruno's shit, everybody. Another man of the match. Well, no, I still think De Gea's man of the match. What grinds my gears, Harry and Marcus were playing crap and he gets them back so quick, but he doesn't give Donny more than 5 minutes. Yeah, I get that. I do get that, Hacker. But this is very good. 3-0 for Manchester United at half-time. We never would have said that. Never would have said that, would we? And look, I've seen a lot of people arguing with each other in the chat, saying sit down, Rashford haters, etc. As you know, I've always been a big fan of Rashford, but he has been shit recently and he did deserve to be dropped. But we've got to... Rashford's 24. Like, he's not going anywhere. What we need is Marcus Rashford back playing well. So I think that does wonders for his confidence. I don't think it's too bad, to be honest. Need to look after Ronaldo, says SK. What must Ronaldo be thinking? Man United takes their striker off at 2-0 and 20 minutes left against a bad team. No other team would do that. Niall pointing. I think what, look, I've just tweeted it before. I think why Ronaldo's pissed off, and I do get it, is you work your arse off against a team that's we're not creating anything really against. You have a massive part to play in the second goal that wins the game. And then you get taken off with 20 minutes to go when you know there's going to be opportunities on the break. Ronaldo's played so many games in his life, and he will know in the last 20 minutes he's going to get a chance to score his goal. And then he's been taken off, and he wants to score a goal. Scotty's been class second half. There's a player there as long as we get a top-class CDM to stick next to him. I just think everything good that McTominay does is driving forward, not from CDM, because he's not a CDM. I think McTominay deserves a 7 today, if not for the game for the second half. He's surprised in DM. I wouldn't give him a 7. I thought he was shit first half, but he has been good second half. Mark, say how is McTominay's been flawless second half. Also can't blame Ralph for not trusting the team that blew a 2-0 40 days ago, says Jimmy Garner. And Donny should switch to 8-9, since that is when he usually gets put on the pitch. Look, I think it's great that a lot of you are giving McTominay a shout out in the second half. You know what I think? I don't think he's a centre defensive midfielder. I think he should be playing in the Fred position. We desperately need a centre defensive midfielder. But he's been decent second half. But to be honest, everything decent he's done has been driving forward with the ball. And the problem with driving forward with the ball as a CDM is that you're moving away from where you're meant to be. Michael Carrick didn't drive forward with the ball. Like, your job is to stay in front of the back four and run the game. He isn't that player. So we shouldn't be using him in that position. He should be playing as one of the number 8s, because then he can get forward and get a shot off as well. It's 3-0. Can we change the score, please? You can do your player ratings, by the way. A lot of people talking about player ratings. You can do your player ratings. I'll drop the link in the video description, but unitedstand.com is the place to be. I predicted Manchester United would win again. Goldbridge and his predictions are doing well. Another 3-0. Oh, I didn't predict 3-0. I predicted we would win 3-2, but I did predict we'd win. Tomley's just gone down injured here. Massive game against West Ham at the weekend, by the way. Interesting to see what he does with that team, with Rashford scoring. Would he bring Rashford back in? I don't think I would bring Rashford in for Elanga, but that might be enough. There's some big decisions to be made, that's for sure. Just a very, 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 very important win, this. It's been very different. I mean, for me, I won't forget the first half. David De Gea absolutely kept us in the game. We could have been 2-0 down easily. And he provides the platform for the second half performance. And it has been a game of two halves. First half, David De Gea was absolutely fantastic, kept us in the game. Second half, Bruno, fantastic. McTominay's been good as well. Obviously, Alanga with the goal. But I think Bruno and McTominay in the second half have really got that midfield going compared to the first half, where they were both quite poor. And obviously, Rashford and Alanga and Greenwood benefiting from 3 chances that really you would expect to be scored. But yeah, Bruno, fantastic. McTominay's been really good. David De Gea probably still gets man of the match for me. Those 3. But you know what? It's a clean sheet. Don't sleep on the back 4. Like I think the back 4 have been really good. Varane, again, underrated, brilliant. Absolutely superb performance from Varane. I think he's been brilliant. Mac is just coming on. See what's going on here. I don't know what's going on. I can't see it. Who's gone? I don't know who's gone down injured here. Someone's down injured. Player ratings, links to the video description. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. We've still got 5 minutes to go here. But what I've enjoyed about the game today is that Manchester United have taken this game away from Brentford. Oh, have they got a goal? Oh, for fuck's sake. And there goes David De Gea's clean sheet again. Fucking hell. He must be so pissed off. I mean, why are we not winning this header here? Oh, fucking De Gea's got every right to be furious here. There's enough players back. What are we doing? This is just a sloppy goal. Fucking clean sheet gone. So look at some of your super chats. Bipolar FC, first half as bad as mine. Any United sign we've seen poster Alex to a competent 3-0 second half, says Corey. Why is Maguire marking Fred, says Jameson. Also, not giving McShite any credit. It's bloody Brentford standards, people, says Nick. Wouldn't the captain normally take the armband when they come on? Bruno for captain, says Chris. I wouldn't read anything into that. Mark, our standards are so low because McFred's best games are City or Chelsea's midfield average. Kante average game is Scott's best. How we have fallen, says Ryan. Oh mate, I'm not doing a Burnley again. Guys, Scott has been good in the second half, agreed, but he has been driving forward. No way he's our CDM, says Chris. Yeah, I noticed that as well, mate. AN, thank you. Welcome to Members Club. Dan, welcome to Members Club. Wouldn't the captain normally take a lot of people talking about that? I don't think that makes has Maguire took the captaincy back? No, he hasn't. Well, it's not on Bruno's arm anymore. What the fuck? Why has Maguire took it back? Fucking joker. I thought people were joking. Like, you've been on the pitch for 15 minutes and Bruno's had it, and then you take it back. Why? Weird. Well, he takes it back and we concede. I don't really think the goal was anybody's fault. It just looked like a bit of a mess to me. But you know. Another corner here. And I'd say 10. Yeah, that'll do. It's not 3-2, everybody. It's 3-1 to Manchester United. Maguire was literally marking Fred on that throw in, says Jameson Gray. Yeah, but it didn't land anywhere that Maguire could have won it. It landed on where Tellez was, I think. SK says it was Maguire's fault. I'd have to see it back again. I mean, ultimately, look, the disappointment is that we don't keep a clean sheet. I'd be very worried about Maguire starting against West Ham. There's no justification for it. I think the back four's played really well. I think Lindelof and Varane have played really well. But check my last tweet, everybody, and if you agree with it, give it a retweet. Maguire comes on and we concede. How predictable, says Relaxed Nation. Rashford and Maguire playing, or why would people say Rangnick is another Ollie? He speaks in platitudes, plays favourites and makes awful subs, says Gaze. And it's worrying where we would be if we had chosen to go with Henderson this season, says Aram. And watch it again. Maguire goes onto the shoulder of Fred for the throw. Absolute pleb. Play Leicester 80 million to take him back, says PO. Mark, a super chat isn't enough characters to go into detail about how much I think Maguire affects the club. Is there someone I can send somewhere written in more details as Nick's97? I'm sure Man United have got a bloody email address you can send it to. They might read it. Look, I think Brentford first half could have put this game very much in a difficult place for us and probably should have done. They'll look at those chances, and they were good saves by De Gea, but you would look at those as the striker and go, or the attacker or the shooter, and say, I should have scored. But De Gea's brilliance kept us in the game. And then second half, I think Bruno has been brilliant, 2 assists. McTominay, probably not doing his job, has been really good. The good things that McTominay's done is drive forward, which is not a CDM's job, but I think it's really more of an audition that he should be in the Fred position and we should get a bloody CDM. But that third goal by Rashford really has made this game not be a Villa game. Because if we'd conceded that goal, with 5 minutes, 10 minutes to go, you'd fancy them to get 2-2. And we've got that second goal, and it's made a huge difference. Rashford's pass, and Bruno won't get there for that, unfortunately. 2 minutes still to go. I put, look, it's up to you. We're going to do the player ratings in the match reaction. It'll be very interesting to see how your player ratings go. As I said, standout players for me across the whole 90 minutes: David De Gea, Varane, Lindelof. They've been really good. McTominay second half, Bruno second half. Are we going to give Fred a good score because he got an assist? He got an assist against Villa. I think Fred's been crap, but Deleu's been good as well. Yeah. I think the whole back four has been really good. Come on, this is a goal for Bruno. He deserves this. Wow, fucking hell, Bruno. You're not man of the match now. What's he doing? He's passed it back to the keeper. Bruno, you've just lost man of the match, pal. Yeah, De Gea is my man of the match because you can't win a game if it's already lost. And we were dreadful in the first half. Real game of two halves again. That game on Saturday, though, against West Ham, huge. Absolutely huge. We need to win that. We need to beat Brentford. We have. And I nearly got the right score. I did say at half time, it looked like I'd be very wrong, but I said it'd be a goal fest, and I said 3-2 to United. And it's pretty much gone the way I thought it would, but the first half was terrible. You can see why Ronaldo's pissed. Oh, look at Fred again. Unbelievable first touch. You can see why Ronaldo's pissed off, though, because on the break, there's been loads of opportunities. Daniel wants to give McTominay man of the match. Mate, you need to get out a little bit more. What are you, his brother? He's been good, but he played shit for 45 minutes. You can't give someone man of the match for playing well against Brentford for 45 minutes. You know, up your standards a bit. I'll give him a good score, but man of the match. You can't give somebody, you know, there's the clues in the name, man of the match, not man of the half, man of the match, mate. Who's second? Maguire for taking the captain's armband. 3 points to Manchester United. Big win. Ralph Rangnick there goes up to Thomas Frank. He knows that's a big result for the club, and it is a massive result for the club. Manchester United winning. Actually, I think McTominay might have gone off. Did he go off injured? I don't know about that. A lot of people saying Deleuze played well as well. Fantastic result for Manchester United. The result is what matters. There was a lot to like about the back four again. I think they're growing. Still need to sort the midfield battle out. Good confidence for Rashford, but Manchester United with a big win. We'll also be talking about the Ronaldo sulk as well. I seem to have frozen again now. A problem? No, we're back. Okay, well, we'll see you on the match reaction in a minute or two. I'll push you over to there, and we'll see you on there. Remember to do your player ratings in the video description. I'll see you in a minute.